Good evening and welcome to SOS 165. I'm Storm, your shoutcaster for this block, joined by my co-host Tomu. How are you doing tonight?
Hello. I'm doing pretty okay tonight. My Wi-Fi isn't too great, but I hope I don't disconnect too many times. How are you doing, Storm?
I'm doing pretty good. I've got a Sonic triple smasher burger, and it's pretty good.
Blended. Is that like a Sonic themed burger?
Yeah, I don't know if it's something for just like this month or whatever, but it's been delicious so far. So I don't quite know what they've done with the recipe or what they've changed about it.
I find that really funny, like Sonic themed burger.
Yeah. Well, it's not Sonic the Hedgehog name. It's just from the American restaurant Sonic.
Oh, I was thinking like Sonic the Hedgehog burger.
No. That would be pretty dope, though. I heard something about it not being like evening time where you're at, Tommy. Am I right?
Yeah, it is 1 a.m. for me, 'cause I am in Britain.
Oh, well, that's lovely. So not only do we have to worry about the Wi-Fi, but I can't have you falling asleep on me, okay?
I'm not sleepy. It's fine.
Okay. Well, what do we have here with this first set of group stages for tonight, Tomu?
We have Magical Cure versus Lemon Cider. There was some confusion between the name of the first team. Like, we were a bit confused about if they were called This Is Fine or This Is Magical Cure.
Yeah, it ends up being the exact same team as This Is Fine. They pulled a little switcheroo on us this time around for I guess it being close to Halloween or something like that.
I guess so. I think I will just call them Magical Cure for now, because it's the easiest to say.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. We're going to be starting off this first match on Hagglefish Market Zones. It's a very linear and easy map to kind of follow. What do you expect anything out of either of these teams in regards to like weapon comps or play styles, Tomu?
Okay, so on Lemon Cider, that was this player called V Heavy, and I need to know if they play V Heavy.
What, like they were actually the player named V Heavy?
They were just named V Heavy.
Okay, well, we'll be seeing if that stays true or if the branding needs to be a little worked on. And it looks like we are going to be getting started, and V Heavy is not yet shown just yet. We do see a brush, and we don't see a V Heavy, unfortunately. Tell me, what you see with these comps? What do both teams need to kind of do to get into the match?
Well, I think they need specials, and I don't think like initial control of the zone is that important. Well, yeah, it looks like they're going in with Trizuka.
Yeah, and one player's already going down on the side of Magical Cure. We saw that range blaster pick it kind of push up and get one that was stranded. Pick not really able to get a pick off of the brush there, but was able to get traded out. And we're, like you're saying, just seeing a fight more so for kills rather than the zone coverage.
Quite a few members from both sides have gone down already, but at the moment it looks like Magical Cure is dominating the map.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing they're actually getting a good push going. Not quite yet able to get into Plat for Lemon Cider, but they are able to waste a couple specials and get a kill onto Pick Kale with a perfectly rolled bomb, able to get one. Not really trying to push up and get aggressive just yet. Unfortunately, gets caught by those strikes, and we're going to be seeing Lemon Cider get one chance at taking back the zone pretty much for free.
That death to this prize strike was actually quite unfortunate because the camera angle was quite strange.
Yeah, I don't think they saw it, unfortunately, but I mean, that's what you get with Tri Strikes. You throw them in a good position, and you're bound to get someone who doesn't see it on their screen.
From what looks like is happening now, I'm gonna predict that Magical Cure is gonna get a KO, because this is usually how round ones go.
Yeah, they are getting some really good positioning on Lemon Cider. We do see Lemon Cider holding their own with a Kraken up in mid. Unfortunately, that sloshing machine unfortunately goes down to one of the players on the side of Magical Cure. But Pick trying to get at least somebody. They do send her out. The junior does get that kill, but unfortunately in the form of a trade. Again, Pick not really able to do much just yet. Splashdown coming out to hold zone, and now the counter is just ticking down.
They were almost able to get the zone for a brief moment, but now they might get it. Yeah, they have the zone now. So if they're able to hold this, they might be able to get a few points and potentially win.
Yeah, we did see they get one pick on the side of Jam on that bottom left side. The other player jumped out. Kale with that ray going off. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing Lemon Cider take a lot of positions as they only have one special online. One player does go down, and the other player goes down to a form of a trade. Soap over here painting up the map, trying to get a bubble that they had already used. We're going to see Whales come out on top of Kale. Soap push up a little bit to take positioning. Not much other than that Booyah Bomb to kind of take advantage of this. The bubble is finally online, but Soap is just trying to stay alive. Unfortunately getting taken out by Pick. And we are just going to see Lemon Cider hold this with the last 3 seconds left.
2 members from Lemon Cider does go down though. The Magical Cure still have a chance to win this. And they have just respawned, however their numbers are still staggering.
Yeah, we saw Lemon Cider unfortunately get a little bit of a stagger with that death from the Nautilus. Pampers is taking a really good position and has that splashdown ready and online for the fight. Not really poking anyone just yet, not really using it too early. Is not able to get that Kraken. The Zuka does come out and the strikes come out. We're going to be seeing a good counterplay on the side of Magical Cure. If they can just hold on a little bit longer, they've already got one pick. They're using the splashdown and they get another. That's going to seal the deal for game 1 on Magical Cure.
I can imagine that Lemon Cider really panicked during the end there. It was really, really close.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw they were holding on to all their specials. Lemon Cider did a good job at trying to build up their Kraken, trying to build up their Zuka, trying to use strikes to at least stall zone. But unfortunately, it looked like because of their positioning, they weren't really able to take advantage of any of those specials since they were all in an active special.
So next up, we're gonna have Clan Blitz on Manta. I wonder what comps they're gonna pick for this one.
Well, I think Magical Cure is going to stay with that brush. I mean, it's a very Clan Blitz type of weapon. Now, Manta Maria isn't the best brush map, but I could still see them running it just because, haha, Clan Blitz.
Oh, apparently it's supposed to be Rainmaker.
Is it supposed to be Rainmaker? Well, that would make a little bit of a change, but I don't know if it's that big of a change. I think it's enough to at least take them off of brush because again, Manta Maria only really has one way in by just like walking, but if you have that left side covered, you don't really need to worry about using a brush to get in anymore because you've already got players there.
If they do really like playing brush though, it might still be viable because they can bomb the Rainmaker shield.
That is very true. It does have those splat bombs, and depending on which one you go, you might be able to get 1 or 2 good specials as well. I'm not quite too familiar with the brush kit. I don't see it that often, and so I really only know that it has the splat bomb.
I do remember at one point I had a friend who would play brush with me sometimes. Well, like I'd be on the bow and they'd be on the brush and we'd farm whales together for some reason. They really like playing brush as a support.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked pretty well. So that was
Yeah,
pretty
and-
interesting.
And I could be wrong, Manta Maria isn't an awful map for whales. It's got a couple different height elevations, but if you're trying to take control of street or take back street, it's really good at holding that area.
Oh, it looks like they did pick up the brush again. And V Heavy's on Heavy!
Yeah, and we also see a
Yippee.
double bucket comp from Lemon Cider. This is going to be interesting. They've got a lot of power with that. Now, Magical Cure, what do you think they'll get the first pop? Well, I
Whoa.
guess they don't.
Yeah, that was quick. That was really quick actually, but it does look like one of the buckets have gone down, and so does V Heavy.
Yeah, and that's going to give Magical Cure the first possession of the Rainmaker. One player is kind of getting caught out in the bunker, able to take one down before dying, and actually staying alive even. Soba's trying to stay alive, not able to get out actually with that super jump back. Kale's just trying to hold the Rainmaker in mid, waste as much time as possible. We do see a player on the side of Lemon Cider going down. One player goes down with that Rainmaker, and now we're going to just see a neutral stage come out from both sides.
I think if Kale was a bit like quicker with that Rainmaker sneaky push, they might have actually taken the checkpoint, and that was really close. Well done to Lemon Cider for defending that.
Yeah, it's all about that timing, and if you can figure out the window, you can get in. But Lemon Cider did a really good job, like you're saying, of just holding that window as far back as possible. Unfortunately, Kale getting taken out by the strikes. Another player going down in the form of a trade. Now it's just a 1v3. Toki trying to get this pick on the Soap. Soap's staying alive. Unfortunately, goes down to that machine player. Toki's finally going to be able to pop the Rainmaker and possibly even get that Rainmaker into mid.
I must say, Soap stayed alive for quite a while, and the time stall there was very beneficial for their team.
Yes, and we're going to be seeing Lemon Cider with the first push of this match. Mayo trying to make something work with that machine. Not yet finding anybody. Trying to bait out. Kale does. Might be able to get the kill. Does before they are able to go down and use that whale. Now Pampers trying to get into a good position to take out Pick. Not really doing anything other than just being threatening on that bunker. What do you think we need to see for one of these teams to get that checkpoint?
Well, I can imagine they need a few members down and like quite a few specials up. Yeah, like Tray Strikes would really help with that push. But it is unfortunate on them that not many people were able to follow up. The two members of Lemon Cider are down, and they might be able to get the Rainmaker up there.
This is a really solid position by Pampers, able to use that splashdown to scare more people off. Might be able to get Koki with a little bit of that fall off range. Unfortunately, two go down to Mayo. Another one goes down from the cleanup crew, and we're going to be seeing Pick trying to get a kill. Unfortunately, not able to on Pampers. Pampers playing a really good anchor game right now.
Pampers trying their best to like be really difficult to hit, but they do go down eventually to the buckets. They got a direct hit on Kale there. Oh, I think that was Kale?
Yeah, I think you're right, but a direct isn't enough when you're playing Sloshing Machine. One player goes down to a flank. Koki trying to get another. Unfortunately, not able to. Kaio with a really good follow-up, and Kale's going to be grabbing that Rainmaker here in a second. I lied, they're going to actually be sharking onto the bunker. Those strikes do kind of change your mindset a little bit. And with one player of Magical Cure going down, they finally are able to trade it out from the side of Lemon Cider. They're waiting out this wave breaker and seeing if they can't find an opening into that left side.
I must say this neutral game has lasted a really long time, but that Liammochamocher has been thrown in a really strong position that forced everybody out. And,
yeah, and Jam was able to get a pick with that even. Might be able to get the street. Unfortunately, one player was sharking the Rainmaker. That will stall their push a little bit. Neither team has broken the checkpoint just yet, so this is still winnable for either team. They don't have to take it far to at least score more points. Magical Cure backing up after they went 2 down. They don't have any specials online except for that strike, which is going to be used just to push Pick back. They've got their own special, though. They might be... No, they're going to get taken out by Jam. we are actually in a really good position to be seeing Magical Cure take it a little bit further.
Magical Cure would have to play really patiently to make sure Lemon Cider doesn't make a comeback. And honestly, I'd say the same for Lemon Cider. Like, they have to play it really patiently too to be able to charge up specials and make sure everybody's alive. But it doesn't seem like that's happening as 2 members are down.
Ooh, and the third one goes down. They do have to get the pop here. Unfortunately, no one's around. And one thing we forgot to mention about this set is that this is a best of 3. So basically, the first team to win 2 matches wins the set. And since Magical Cure has gotten 2 early wins, that actually means that they're going to be winning this round 1. And we're going to be seeing Lemon Cider taking the loss on this one. So we're not going to be seeing ship-shape cargo for Splat Zones, but we did see a really good performance from This Is Magical Cure in this first round here.
I must say, Lemon Cider played defense pretty well because what I usually see in round 1 of group stages is one team immediately gets a knockout, and I'm quite surprised that hasn't actually happened at all yet.
Yeah, and like how you had said earlier, they played that window game really well. They didn't allow there to be a big window between Magical Cure's positioning on the Rainmaker and the Rainmaker pedestal, and I think that's what helped against stopping any snowball pushes that would lead to a knockout.
This is a best of 3, right? And not a playoff 3.
Yes, this is a best of 3, and so the matches are done. And so that means that they don't have to play anything else because the winner has already been decided. And so we'll be going on to seeing a round 2 once some of the other sets kind of start finishing up. Let me see here if I can't pull up the bracket to see what it's looking like around the board. So yeah, it looks like we're seeing a lot of 2-0s, kind of like how you're saying it's round 1, and so there's going to be a lot of those that happen. We do see Space Lock and Black Awawa in a 2-1 situation. Space Lock actually took the set with that, but it is kind of abnormal to see that throughout the first round group, so good job to Black Awawa for taking one of those games.
Yeah, definitely. So if we were playing Splat Zones on ship-shaped cargo, how do you think that would have played out for these teams?
For these teams, I think Magical Cure might have still had... They were very controlling in that second game. Yes, they never took the Rainmaker past the pedestal, but they never let Lemon Cider even take control of mid. They were always able to keep one player alive long enough for the other players to get back into mid. I think it would have still been very much in their favor. What did you have in mind, Tommy?
I was thinking it'd be like pretty similar to the first game, where there would be quite a bit of back and forth, but well, no, it'd be actually pretty even, since Lemon Cider definitely had a chance to win on the first match, but a few too many people went down near the end, which allowed Magical Cure to take the zone again and win. So I'd imagine the same thing to happen on ship-shaped zones.
Yeah, and unfortunately we'll never get to know, because Magical Cure was able to take that victory. Right now we're actually going to be seeing Eepy Dreepy versus UCSD Esports, and so that's San Diego, I believe, is the collegiate team for them. It's the gold team, so I think that's their varsity, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'm not too familiar with how school or like collegiate teams work.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar either.
I'd imagine all these people know each other IRL then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because they would all have to be from the same school. I bet that's pretty cool, being able to play with the team that you're, well, actually, like, not live with, but live around the team that you're playing with.
Yeah, and have like IRL practice sessions. That'd be really cool
Yeah.
and really fun.
I'm looking at the stats from both of these teams round one, and it looks like both of them went 0-2 against their round one opponents. And so both of these teams, they might not have a chance at getting into Great White, which is the highest bracket. If you didn't know, all of these teams are going to get placed in some sort of bracket depending on how their performance in this first group stage, these first 3 rounds go. And if you basically win everything, then you're going to be going to the top bracket, which is I think like around top 16 teams will go there depending on the tourney participants. And then everyone else basically gets placed into 3 other brackets depending on, did they win some and then lose some? Did they win 2 of their 3 rounds and lost to the best team in their group? Or did they just lose them all? And so even though they might have lost last round, both of these teams still have something in the game. They have a little bit of skin to play for, because, I mean, if they win this and they win the next match, they can make it into the Hammerhead bracket, which is the second best of those.
I do think that these matches would be a lot more even, as the skill levels would be a bit more balanced, since they have both lost their first set.
Yeah, and we're going to be going out into Mahi Mahi. We're going to be, I guess, swimming around for a little bit. There's not really anything that sticks out to me too much except for that blaster on the side of San Diego. What do you think we're going to be seeing from this, Tommy?
I feel like there'd be quite a lot of people, like, somewhat afraid of going into mid because of the pencils. I find it interesting how Goatchild has pushed really far ahead, and the other pencil on the other team is still on their flat, like at the start of the match. But things have changed since that has happened. UCSD Esports have the zone, and the points are ticking now.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Eepy Dreepy trying to make their first push back in. Cactus not really able to find anyone, but is able to pull some attention away from zone. They do end up getting that kill eventually. The cooler comes out, unfortunately not able to help very many people. But Cactus, again, just trying to stay alive, trying to at least take some people away from zone. Does get Opal, and San Diego still has that zone even after that entire firefight.
Eepy Dreepy was able to neutralize zone for a bit, but it wasn't quite painted enough for them to take control and give UCSD penalty points. So they really have to make a comeback now, otherwise it's over for them.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing one player on the side of San Diego go down, another player, but Cactus does go down. They do eventually get that zone cap. Eepy does have some room to breathe. We are going to see that Reef Sider come out, get one, trying to find another, not able to, but there's a wipeout. A bunch of bombs was able to displace Eepy. Now they're going to be set on the back foot, just trying to stay alive long enough before that knockout occurs.
It doesn't look like they're gonna push up that flat. It seems like one member did try, but got picked off pretty quickly. If they're able to push up their plat right now, they'd be able to lock the opponent out of zone, giving them an easy victory.
Yeah, and now would be a perfect time to at least hold zone, because they've got 2 specials coming out and a third one on the way. We do see that Reef Slider eventually get used, gets picked off by the Zuka. Pizza Squid trying to do something, build up a tri-strike in time for the zone cap. Doesn't have to, because 2 players already go down. Might get the third, and there is a jump in that they're going to be able to camp. Cactus is playing a really good crossfire with Pizza Squid there.
That one player from UCSD, I think they got a, I'm not sure the word for it, but I find it funny how they tried to test their luck with the Ninja Squid jump, but it was fortunate on Eepy that we were able to catch them.
Yeah, and sometimes it's dangerous to jump in whenever you're on defense, and that's the situation that they were put in. We're seeing some specials come out on the side of Eepy just to hold zone. They do get 2 kills for it, and so they're in good standing right now. there is a bubble online for San Diego, so we might see that and a cooler come out and try and make one final push.
Unfortunately, the sneaky play from Boston is punished. If they were able to hold that position a bit longer, they might have a chance to take zone.
Yeah, and it looks like Dreepy was able to hold on enough for the knockout there, basically reversing everything that UCSD did to them in that beginning of the match they did on the back end. And they were able to come back on top, which is going to put them ahead because, again, this is a best of 3, and so that means that the first team to get 2 wins will move on in a much better standing as far as the groupings go than the opposing team. So that means Dreepy just has to win 1 more match, whereas UCSD Esports Gold has to win 2.
From what looked like happened in the last match was that UCSD put Dreepy in a state of staggering team members. So one member would be down while another was respawning, and that's how they were able to hold the zone for so long. But then the reverse happened to them, which is what allowed Dreepy to win. So I'd say it was really good on Dreepy to make that comeback.
Yeah, and this is a game of numbers, and so sometimes, like how you saw Dreepy do, you just have to wait for the rest of your team to respawn, so then you can actually fight them mathematically, as opposed to just egotistically trying to get 1 or 2, try to eliminate the opponent in some way, where it may not be possible, especially on Mahi Mahi.
I must say though, whenever you're alive, it is really tempting to rush down the enemy without thinking about your team members.
Yeah, and that's some things that you just have to keep account of as you're playing and as you continue to improve as a player, because I mean everyone here is trying to improve as a player, and everyone has their own thing, and I think everyone goes through that at some point, is remembering, hey, there's no I in team, this is a group effort, and let me make sure that I'm fighting this player as a group as opposed to individually.
And even when you do try to find people as a group, it is still really difficult to coordinate, especially if you need to.
Yeah, that's very true. And we're going to be moving on here to tower control on Undertow Spillway. Tell me, do you have any special notes about this map or this mode, anything like that you think would be notable for either of these teams?
So as a player who plays backline, I know for a fact that near neutral or first 2 checks, backline would be positioned in the snipe area, and for the rest of the game, when offense or defense, you would just not touch the snipe area at all.
Yeah, the tower does kind of move away from snipe, so that makes a lot of sense. I think we'll probably see some pencils coming out. I guess we're in the selection process now, so we'll be seeing it in a second.
I honestly find that really deceptive because the area looks like it's designed to be the perfect snipe area, but you're rarely gonna use it to push.
Yeah, and I'm seeing an interesting pick on the side of San Diego. They're going to be going with that E-leader to try and take some extra range into account. Cactus not able to get anyone, did distract Goat Child a little bit, trying to come back for more. Unfortunately, got taken down. Might have had too much leftovers there, but Adam's going to be able to hold this right side, which is important whenever you're first taking the checkpoint. Not really able to get any picks. Actually, one player does go down on the side of San Diego after they break that checkpoint.
I can imagine the elites as laser forcing GPP to take some really strange routes and scare them away from main positions.
Yeah, especially in this meta where you're used to seeing that pencil where it has 2 shots as opposed to 1 that would kill you. Actually, the pencil won the 1v1 onto tower, so we're going to see Dreepy trying to make a push into it to stop any more points from getting on the board. They do get another player. Cactus not able to get another, does finally take him out, but they're going to be coming back from that espresso machine pretty quickly. Cactus does have the cooler, which that player had picked up, and so we're going to be seeing a neutral stage come out for either side. Cactus is trying to make some work with Pizza Squid, not able to follow up just yet. Pizza Squid goes down, Cactus goes down. We're going to be seeing San Diego in a really good position right now.
There are quite a few players on both sides going down, but it looks like we're back into a state of neutral game right here. Unfortunately for them, they do die to a bomb though.
Yeah, it's looking like Eepy Dreepy is getting carried off a lot in positioning or in 1v1 taking. We do see Cody able to get one, not able to get the second one, and Nerdy Adam is able to take a good position, get one player. Cactus goes down, not even going to try and fight that pencil player there. Doesn't want to get written up like how they're about to be by Pizza Squid. Pizza Squid laying down some fresh tomato sauce, and Cody with alongside them, not really able to do much except for hold this left side. Pizza Squid trying to follow up, not able to get a pick. Does actually get a trade out there, and we're gonna be seeing Eepy Dreepy get reset right now.
Adam, like from a few seconds ago, they did a really good job at holding mid when their entire team was down. That prevented the enemy team from going for a push and potentially taking the lead.
And we're going to be seeing 2 players on the side of San Diego go down. Goat Child in a really tough spot. Unfortunately, that Kraken doesn't work when 4 players are shooting at you. Cactus gets the 4th, so we're going to be seeing a full wipe, allowing for Eepy Dreepy to kind of push up. Yes, they are going to get met with some opposition, but Cactus is doing a really good job at not allowing San Diego to push up any further.
They're kind of scrambling in this corner, but it does look like Kasame make it out of the fight alive.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to take a little bit more ground. Kasami in a really good spot. This left side is important. You were saying earlier how that right side doesn't matter as much. This left side is super vital to being able to push the tower past that checkpoint. They've already broken it. They just need to go further.
At this moment, it feels like it's anyone's game. It just has to. It mainly just depends on who's gonna play more patient. But it does look like EP3P is down on numbers, and UCSD will be able to increase their lead.
Yeah, and that's all thanks to Kosami with some really good movement and some good picks. Unfortunately gets taken out in the form of a trade, but that does allow for San Diego to be able to take this left side a little bit more, give some freedom to play around that laser by the back line. Cactus gets taken out before the shield is deployed, so Adam's going to be holding this mid pretty much for free now.
That was a really clean kill from Adam, to be honest. Now all they have to do is play defense, otherwise EP3P might be able to make a comeback.
Yeah, and we do see Cactus is able to follow up with some kills, not really able to stay alive from that Kraken. They do just barely. I don't know how I would die to that if I was playing that game, the game where you just killed him. But Cactus did use whales right there to try and call out 1 or 2 players. Not able to get anyone. Actually allows for 1 player to get taken out by the E-leader. Punishes eventually, and is in a weird spot. Cactus and 1 other are alive to try and push this tower for more. Pizza Squid and Cody finally on the tower. They're actually in a good position to possibly even take the lead here if they can get that checkpoint and stay on.
Dreepy is 3 down though, so it does not seem likely.
They were pretty close. If that clutch tri-strike never came out on the side of UCSD, I think they actually would have gotten the lead because that stalled them just enough to get players into position where they could crossfire onto the tower so that if you were on there, you weren't because you either got knocked off or you just got neutralized.
Yeah, but since both teams are on 1 point, we are gonna be seeing a round 3, which will be splat zones on Humpback Pump Track.
This is a very good map for sloshers, and so I think we'll be seeing that again. I don't I don't want to say I know which slosher though, because I feel like tri-strikes on this map are a little weird, whereas Zuka can also get a little weird. So I don't know if we'll see a sloshing machine.
I wonder if we're gonna see the charges again. Since this map is really curvy, the sight lines are gonna be kinda strange.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see the E-Leader. I think the E-Leader is too niche. Now they do have Kraken, but again, whenever you use Kraken, like how we saw, if you're not in a good position, you're gonna get called out, and then the entire enemy team's just basically not gonna let you go anywhere until you run out of that timer.
Yeah. What specials do you think would work really well on this map?
I think it's kind of the golden rule to get a cooler, because we're in cooler meta still. And one of these days we might finally be free from it. One of these days. I think we'll be seeing a bubble because it is humpback pump track, so if you can set up a bubble at a good spot in or in front of zone, then that does deny a lot of painting capabilities to neutralize, and that allows you to take better positions to further your scoring. I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of troll to see 10 missiles, but I feel like there might be someone that would argue for it on this map. Other than that, I could see possibly maybe whales. Whales are not the greatest because again, it goes up and down on the skating part. But
yeah,
if you're trying to hold back people while they're trying to take zone from their plat, it wouldn't do an awful job. And we might see tri-strikes because you can throw tri-strikes all around the entrance areas, like those windows on the left and the right, or even around the drop, and it could either mask your teammates or it could just push back the players. What do you think, Utomi?
it's kind of unrelated to the question, but now that I'm thinking of it, Killer Whale 5.1 is a really strange special because there's 6 of them, and they all have to lock on, and they're all not very accurate.
Yeah,
and you kind of need help from your teammates to make it effective.
Yeah, they're kind of slow. I think it's an interesting special. Melon went into detail about how the locking mechanic kind of works, and it's a very interesting way to use it, where basically you'll look at whoever, but the closest player to you is the one that will lock on if they're in your, like, on your screen. If they're not on your screen, then it's whoever. I mean, there has to be a player on your screen, unless if there's not, it just kind of does a line throughout the map, and so it doesn't really lock onto you at that point. It just scans around.
And at that point, it's kind of just wasted, because sure, it might hit someone, but the damage it does is going to be minuscule.
Yeah, it's very situational. We're actually still going to see it on the side of Cactus running with that 52 gal. And we're actually going to see a lot of strikes come out. We do also see Goat Child on that ball point, which is going to provide aerial support with that jetpack. One player goes down on the side of San Diego. Cactus is going to be pushing this right side a little bit, trying to stay alive to heal. Unfortunately, gets caught out by that Autobomb. Blaster with the dualies is able to get one pick, not really able to get another, but they have enough. They don't need anything more. They just need to take a little bit of ground here now that they've got zone and put down some beacons so that they can further their assault.
We haven't actually seen a bullpen player today yet, so I'm really interested in seeing how that's gonna go. From the start of the match, I could see that the pencil was already threatening them, so it might be kind of rough. Blaster very barely dodging the tri-strikes. They did make it out safely though, and the super jump also clipped in to one of the strikes, but that's a wipeout on UCSD.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It just looked like Eepy was really able to push them into one position and collapse on them from all different angles. Cactus is taking a really offensive approach here. Does get one with those rails that we were so dogging on. Might get a second, but Adam is able to come up on top, not allowing for Cactus to take him out so early. Adam is going to use strikes on zone, try and take this left side with the aid of that jetpack, not able to really do anything, gets pushed around by Eepy. Enough players jumping in. Cody not able to do anything further, but Cody was able to save the pencil on that initial assault.
Adam did try to go for a flank, and if it worked out, it would have been huge for their team. But they died pretty quickly without getting a single kill.
Yeah, and they're kind of redeeming themselves here. Adam gets 2. It might be going for a third, trying to take some ground. The player does jump out. There's one behind him. Adam is not going to let them get shot in the back. Actually going to be taking a really good position here with those tri-strikes on line. They're going to be able to throw some around those windows like I was talking about, stalling them at least for a little bit. Eepy Dreepy has to come up with something with that aerial support from San Diego coming out. They only have whales to fight.
If they're able to hold this position for long enough, they might be able to get the victory. And most of Eepy Dreepy is down. Will they have enough time to take the zone?
I don't think so. They've only got a couple seconds, and UCSD comes out on top with this. They played that very smart. They waited. They didn't go too far to where one or two of them might go down. They let Eepy Dreepy come to them, and that's how they were able to get this knockout so early into the match.
Once UCSD got the zone, it looks like it snowballed pretty quickly in their favor.
Yeah, it's a big thing to be able to not go too far, to recognize that when pushing is important and when it's not important. Because if you can do that, then it allows you to basically take advantage of the other player's positioning. You can hide around, shark around so that they don't know where you are, but they have to move. They have to get close to zone to stall it at least, and that gives you the sneak attack opportunity to try and blot out any opposing forces.
So UCSD would be winning this set. Congratulations to them. But Eepy Dreepy did play it really well on the tower control game.
Yeah, Eepy Dreepy played that set really well entirely. They just, I think, let the nerves get to them towards the end of that. Because, I mean, with how short these sets are, even one mistake from one player could make the world of a difference.
Maybe Splat Zones just isn't their game mode.
You never
that's
know.
What it seems like.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, again, it could just be one minor mistake that snowballs into an entire loss, or it could be that there was just one decision that they wanted to make and the full team wasn't on board, and so they didn't have full support.
With how quick the zone ticks down, I do think zones is just a really snowbally game mode in general.
Yeah, it definitely can be. And we're going to be seeing here Cosmic Cherries versus Remix coming out for this third game. And I believe both of these teams have currently won both of their matches. I'm looking at it now, and they have not actually. It looks like they've lost both of their matches. And so this is a fight over who's going to make Mako bracket or who's going to make Lantern bracket. And essentially, if you win this, you make Mako. If you lose this, you make Lantern.
So the next stage is going to be Mako zones. I do feel like this stage is quite difficult for backlines to play on, especially for the slower ones.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because the two positions that you really can take is either those stacks or kind of your spawn area, the box right by spawn, and it doesn't have a lot of range, or really more so a lot of field of view, and so players can kind of go around the little cereal bar area on the sides, or they could go through freezer, or there's, I mean, a big pillow that's just kind of in the middle of the zone, and so you don't have a lot of sight lines that you can kind of look from, which means that for backline players, it's a lot of painting and trying to make the best use of your position so that you can best support your team.
I do like how we've decided to call the Mako call-out areas by what's actually being sold, and I feel like it's the only map we recognize as what it is. It's a supermarket.
It makes sense to me. I mean, I'd rather call it cereal than aisle 9 because having to clean up aisle 9 would be a monstrosity for whoever works at this supermarket.
And I do find it kind of strange that the freezer is just right next to where the other stuff is. Usually they have their own section.
Yeah, I don't quite know how most supermarkets set up their stuff, because I mean, I've seen some freezers in weird spots when I go to Walmart. Do you guys have Walmart? I don't know.
I've never been.
Okay, that's fair.
Like,
it's
for us, the fridge and freezer area are always really close together, or really far apart. There's never in between. It's kind of strange.
I've had some weird interactions where, like, you'd be walking, it's like paper plates, you have your seasonal items, and then like right next to the seasonal stuff may be the freezers, or it's like Walmart does this really great thing that every business should always do, and they change up their layout every 2 days. And so the freezers may be on one side of the building, and then when you come in the next time, they're on the other side. So I really enjoy Mach-O-Mart for not doing this, for keeping it the same for years and years, because that would just make callouts way too crazy.
Yeah. Is there any weapon that you find really annoying to play against on this map?
On this map, I think Explos are really good, because the thing with Explo is it's a backline weapon. In a way, you can play as a support. It kind of depends on what your team wants, but you can lob shots over walls, and so the sight lane thing I was talking about doesn't really matter. You can just open up the map. If someone's injured, you can see them. If someone's marked, if your teammates see them, then you see them on the map, and you can just kind of lob shots wherever so that you can take advantage of the kind of weird geometry around the map.
Okay, I'm absolutely gonna agree with that. Explos are really, really annoying, and especially on this map here. They're also really hard to like approach, since they'd be taking a backline position and can back up whenever they want. But if you do have them cornered while it's a free kill, they can't really fight back.
Yeah, unless it's custom Explode. And with custom Explode, you kind of have to worry about, do they have splashdown? No. Are they close to splashdown? Should I rush them now, or should I wait? And most of the time, they don't have it, but then as soon as you get within like 2 feet of them, they just automatically, it's like a thing that the game just does. It's a new mechanic where they get splashdown and they just get to use it for free.
I'm not actually too familiar with how splashdown cancelling is going to work yet.
It's a lot different than Splatoon 2. So splashdown canceling, now that you've got the fist, you can kill the player, but it's actually pretty difficult to kill all 3 of the, well, I mean, the other 2 fists, because there's 3 splashdowns. 1 of them's the player, 2 of them's the fist. You can kill any of them, but it's hard to get all 3 at once, and so unless there's some box or something to block off the damage that you'd receive, I kind of don't think it's worth it.
Well, it kind of looks like we're gonna have a change of teams now, since one of them dropped.
Yeah, it looks like one of them did indeed drop, unfortunately. We'll be seeing what those change of teams are here in a second with Goofy, and Serenade. And so I believe both of these teams have won their matches. So this is going to be a fight for Great White. Don't quote me on that. Let me actually double check. And I actually am a liar. So we're going to be seeing Serenade, who has gone 2-0 in both of their matches, and Goofy, who has actually lost both of their matches. One of them was a close 1-2, but the other one they got swept completely. So this will actually be a fight for, can Serenade make it to top cut with a clean sweep, or are they going to be sent into a weird tiebreaker scenario against I think one of the other teams. I'm trying to see. Well, maybe not. It looks like they're there's bound to be at least one tiebreaker scenario if they were to lose this match.
Yeah, it might not be the most even of the matchup, especially since one of them has been winning their matches while the other has been losing them.
I think this is still a pretty even matchup. I mean, you've got a lot of good players on the side of Goofy Odd. I don't know if there's miscommunication that happened early on in the bracket, or if maybe they might have gotten a little bit in their heads whenever they were fighting teams, but there's still a chance for them to take this set. It's not over till it's over, as I like to always say. And I mean, again, they're all pretty good players, and so we could see anything come out from either side.
I'm not actually familiar with any of the players here. I've seen some of these names before, but I'm not too sure on how good they are when it comes to the game itself.
Yeah, they're pretty good players on both sides. We'll be seeing again Makomart spot zones here. I think I saw Kanan might be a player on the side of Serenade. I don't know if they're subbing or whatnot, but I know that he does play a lot of sloshers or kind of one-shot weapons like blasters. We might see that if he's playing. I don't quite know. Again, Sam on the side of Goofy Odd was playing Mint a little bit at Riptide. I haven't really gotten an update on Sam's current weapon pool, and so I don't know if that's what we'll see here, but it's always fun to see those weapons.
It's always really, really fun to see off-meta weapons get chosen. It's like really exciting for me.
Yeah, and I mean, you never know. What if one pick ends up becoming a meta weapon just because someone decided to try it out? That's the fun thing about testing around the meta. Is like, yeah, we may be in a meta that's dominated by cooler usage, dominated by pencil players, but you can throw in different weapons, see how they play against other teams, and if it works, well, that might be a new solution. We just haven't found it yet.
Imagine being the person to change the meta. Like, imagine one of your weapons just worked that one time, and suddenly everybody is doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's definitely been those moments throughout competitive Splatoon. I feel like every competitive game, it's someone doesn't know about one thing, and this other guy that nobody really thought the pick would have worked out actually does work out, and he had faith.
It's always nice when stuff like that happens. And it's always nice when the meta isn't just the same thing all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like sometimes that's what the meta gets down to, is like, how can we beat this other team that we're playing currently, and whatever comp kind of helps that team accomplish their goal. That's kind of the basic understanding of meta that we forget about. That, I mean, if Double Bubble beats Pencil, for example, I'm not saying it does, but if it does, then if you're playing Double Bubble against a team that only runs a Pencil, well, you're kind of playing the meta pick in that scenario.
Well, true. Yeah, true. I do wonder how people survived mentally in Missile Meta and Splatoon 2.
It was... I've got some flashbacks, I'll say that. Anytime I hear the lock-on symbol, I just immediately think back to
Trauma.
20 missiles in the air, and it was not a fun time for anyone.
Splatoon, but everybody is a flyfish.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing some players come out with weird picks. We've got Dreadringer from Goofy Ah, H3 from Goofy Ah with the bubble pick. So that'll be interesting. And this is a different Kanan player, so I apologize. I thought there was just a misspelling on the screen. But there's a completely different player than I thought with Tetris coming out. This is going to be interesting. Serenade taking an early first zone capture, actually able to get some kills as well. Not able to stay alive. Goofy Ah's in a really bad position where Kanan is already in their base and actually in a really good spot to hold out for a lockout.
I have never seen AH3 being played in comp yet, so I'm really interested in seeing how that's gonna work and how they're gonna be playing around the team.
Yeah, I secretly have a love for H3. I mean, you have this bubble that is such a really good special weapon right now. The counter by that splashdown is very beautiful on the side of Serenade. They unfortunately aren't able to hold zone for too much longer, but they do take it back. Goofy did put enough paint on the board to be able to stop that counter from taking down anymore. Goofy not able to get any picks, as Miono able to get 2 with that Zipcaster, gets a 3rd, and is looking for more. Gets the assist on that. I mean, that's practically a kill at this point.
Yeah, I do feel like Group VR is kind of lacking in playing competitive team, so they are gonna have to try a bit harder to get zone and neutral.
Yeah, they're gonna be determining a lot of their fate based off of if they can win fights with other players, and it seems like so far they have been able to. They do get a wipeout. It took a while to get that zone, and so they really need to set up and, like how you said, get a lot of good paint control so that Serenade can't just rush back in for free.
Now they have to try work the special and try lock out Serenade. Serenade is doing really well at staying alive and playing Phase 2, and they've got more specials up than Goofy, but one of them does go down.
Yeah, I saw them get hit by that car. Miono trying to get one. A perfect placement from that H3B. Not letting the Zipcaster get any more value. They're just going to be holding the zone here. Might even able to get the lead. 2 specials come out on the side of Serenade. They're not able to cap zone just yet. Players are trying to pan around. Another player does go down on the side of Serenade. 2 players go down on the side of Goofy. They do still hold zone long enough to take the lead. They can chill out for a second if they want to, but no, they're going for more. They're trying to hold the zone even longer, and they're going to be able to do it if they can get one more pick.
If they could initially follow up with that roof slide position a bit better, they might have actually been able to protect the zone and prevent the other team from taking the lead.
Yeah, and there was a pick on the side of Serenade that was really huge. They got the Splash-O-Matic, the main painter for Goofy, very early in that exchange, and so I think that might be the reason why the roof slider had no support, is because there was no one really to follow up.
Nemesis doing the thing with the Explo that we just mentioned.
Yeah, it is a very good backline on this map, and it's proven to be very effective. They've got 7 seconds left on the board. There's a player trying to go in on the left side. I think they got taken out, and so Goofy is going to be put in a tough position where they have to win these next 2 matches in order to stay alive in this tournament.
Mechanical Nemesis was being a menace to the enemy team, and that gave them the victory.
Indeed, that definitely helped out a lot. Miono definitely not a player to pass up. Got a quad there with that Zipcaster assist at the end, but I mean, really good plays and really good positioning usage of that Zipcaster. We'll be moving on to Scorch Gorge Clan Blitz, which I personally think is a really good Zipcaster map because you can just say hello to whoever's on snipe. But we'll be seeing if that's what the players think. I'm not playing the game. I'm just yelling at them. That's all I'm doing.
I really wish that there was some way where you could access the top great bit on top of snipe.
Like the very top?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting... if they put a ladder, that would be an interesting mechanic. I mean, you can technically do it with Zipcaster, but you only have so much time with it that it's almost a waste of your time to go up there, you know?
Yeah.
Now that would be an awful position to be if you were like a Explo, because that would be you'd almost be exploiting the grades there.
Yeah, you wouldn't really be able to hit anything. Or would you?
I mean,
Explo shots go through grades, right?
Yes, they do. So you'd be able to just kind of, whoever's around you, if you see them, you can basically hit them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be seeing Serenade going into this next match here in a minute with a victory already on hand. And so if they can get this next win on Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge, they're going to have swept through this entire group round. And looking pretty good for Great White if they do that, especially against the players that they're playing against.
Yeah. Since we haven't seen Clamblitz today yet, so I wonder how that will go.
Yeah, both teams are going to have to play really well. They're going to have to manage their economy really well. It's not a word that I would have expected to be in Splatoon, but I mean, years ago, Nintendo decided, hey, we're going to pull out eco rounds and make it an actual thing in the game. And so, if you didn't know, you have to manage the clam spawns, because if you don't know where clams are spawning, you can't score points. And so, if you know where the pods kind of pop up and how they pop up, you can basically make sure that your team's scoring at maximum amount of points, whereas the opponents don't really have any clams to score with.
I do remember from Splatoon 2 and Clamblitz, there was a strategy to pick up 3 of the 4 clams that spawn together, so the other 3 don't respawn. Now there's only 3 clams per pod, and I wonder if that strategy is still valid.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, to lock the spawn, you basically have to only grab 2 of the 3, and as long as there's one still there, then it won't be able to spawn on top of it because it's seeing that the pod is still active.
I wonder if that would be enough though. It seems like the heavy edit is the only backline in this comp.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing.
H3 or L3 again.
Yeah, it's the H3. We're seeing some really good picks on the side of Serenade. Stormy did get a really quick pick at the beginning there, but no one was really able to follow up. The positions weren't there. The rest of the team was still painting up, which is still a valid strategy, but that does give Serenade enough time for the respawn to come in and the specials to come out, as we're going to see them get the first early push.
Specials are going out already, and Goofy R has their numbers greatly staggered, but the tri-strikes might just be enough to keep out Serenade. Well, not really.
Well, they've got a lot of points on the board already, so if Serenade is able to just keep cycling these clams, they might be able to get a knockout on the first rip.
Yeah, they still have quite a few clams on their hands right now, and Goofy Art does still have their numbers staggering, but their barrier does go back up and gives them a chance to get their numbers back together and start taking control of it.
Yeah, Cat's really able to provide paint support right now as one player already goes down on the side of Serenade. We're going to be seeing Goofy out try to make a push back in. One player does go down, unfortunately. Another player, Cat, not in a position to take Nemesis on in a fight. And Nemesis is practically getting a quad here. Might try to get the last, but no. The 52-player Code is able to clean up and at least move some players around on the side of Serenade. Able to get the trade finally on Kanan. That does leave Serenade in a tough position where they don't have all their player count just yet, but they are pushing Goofy out a little bit back at the top.
Nemesis was in a really sneaky position a few seconds ago, but now that they have the barrier open, they might be able to just kill in here if they have enough clams.
Yeah, and they've already got that penalty all the way down, so we just need Serenade enough clams to get that knockout. They're trying to just get a full ball so that they can just throw in ones at a time, but I don't know if they're going to have the time to do that. They don't, and they actually opt to back up from those tri-strikes. Goofy off. Unfortunately, there's a BC on the side of Serenade, and so that might have been the player that was holding the clams. I'm not quite sure. They've got to play defense for the rest of this map, or at least they've got to play a little bit smarter than their opponents, trying to work around this player deficit.
But this might allow Goofy to make a comeback, and I don't think it would have been possible otherwise, to be honest.
Maybe, we won't know, but I mean, they're doing a pretty good job at holding their own. Even though they've got one player down, they only let 2 clams score in that time period that Goofy had access to the basket. Nemesis did a really good job at holding that, and there's another player just kind of chilling. They got taken out by a bomb. It looks like that Stamper. Nemesis.
Are we lagging?
Blocking. I don't know. Nemesis is
taunting?
Well.
Oh, everybody's gonna disconnect now.
it might be an us problem because it's looking like a lot of players are just poofing away. And if that's
sad.
2 on each side, yep, it looks like something happened with our room. I'm going to try and check out to see if they reported score at all for that, because I'm not sure if that was an us thing or if that was a them thing.
Well, it can't really be an us thing.
It might be. I mean, there might have been a miscommunication between devices from the host to our spectator here, but we don't quite know.
I mean, it would be really difficult to tell since there isn't really an indicator of whose fault it is.
Yeah, you've gotta enjoy that aspect of Splatoon still. We've not yet gone past it, but I think there's just something iconic. There's something iconic about seeing a DC or 2 or 3, maybe the whole lobby, whenever you're in a tournament. I don't know. It may just be me, but I've been here since day 525, and so it just seems natural now.
That is a really oddly specific day. Did you count that?
No, I absolutely did not count it.
Okay.
I've been here a while, but I don't know the exact day I started on.
Okay, but it'd be really, really interesting to count that. And it would have been really funny if that was accurate.
I probably could, actually. Now that you mention that, let me see. I'm going to chat, and I'm just going to scroll up to the top of my first Splatoon team.
Okay.
Okay, well, maybe it's not that one. Maybe it's this one. It says Splatoon on there. In the meantime, we're getting the lobby back up, but I'm just doing this for fun, to see how much of a boomer I actually am. Where am
It
I
does
at right
seem like
now?
they're gonna replay the set though.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Serenade's gonna have to regain that lead again.
Yeah, I think because of I think it was a lobby DC if they were gonna replay it. But with the way Serenade's been playing, I really think that they've got it in the bag if they just keep doing the same thing that they were doing. Goofy Odd, this is a second chance for them to be able to make things right. And so if I was them, I'd be feeling pretty good. I'd be feeling like I'm on a clean slate. And yeah, they may be one game down, but they've at least got some room to work with as opposed to how that match was going.
Well, every game starts at an even score, so you never know.
That's true. And I have got my actual timeline. I'm not going to put down what the difference is between the start of Splatoon 1, but I started playing competitive Splatoon on July 27th, 2017.
You've been here since day of July 27th.
That is the day that I've been here since.
It's actually a really long time.
Yeah, so probably more than 500 days, if I'm being honest. But I don't do math, I just yell at Splatoon players.
Splendid. I've played Splatoon for that long, but only comp since the start of Splatoon 3, and now I'm kinda taking a break from it.
Yeah, it's a fun community to be in, it's a fun game to play. It's
yeah.
It's not as easy as everyone on Call of Duty makes it sound.
I did find it really hard to improve though, and it got discouraging at one point, but I do want to get back into it sometime soon.
Yeah, it's all a mental thing. Sometimes you just have to take a break. Sometimes you have to rethink the way that you're playing the game or rethink the way that you're training. And if you're in that kind of disappointed or kind of unsatisfied stage right now as a viewer, like just maybe take a break. I mean, those always help. I feel like I always come back strongest after taking a week off, taking 2 weeks off, a couple months off, because you just kind of clear your head. You don't have to think about the stress of performing in tournaments or whatever. And then you might even think of ideas of ways you can train better while you're on your break.
Theory on what I think would happen, what I think happens when people take a break from like games and stuff.
Yeah.
So they might forget. Sure, they're gonna get rusty, but they might forget their bad habits as well. So when they come back to the game, sure, they have to de-rust, but they're not going to relearn their bad habits and pick up a few more good habits, which would in turn make them better at the game.
That's true. We're going into this match now, the replay of Clan Blitz on Scorch Gorge. I'm going to see if Story makes that same aggressive push at the beginning that was able to score 1 kill. Not yet able to get anything. I think Goofy Off played that at the beginning a little bit better. They kind of read same thing was happening. Unfortunately, Kanan going down. It is a Tetra player, so that's to be expected. Not an awful position to be in right now if you are Serenade.
It was a really long range kill from Miono, and they were able to get 3 kills on that one push. They're in their base now, and they are able to get a push really quickly into the game.
All I ask is that nobody in chat clips that where I said it's not a bad position and all of them die. We are going to see Goofy Ah able to get 3 down again. They're actually basically turning the tables around, gets another wipeout on the side of Serenade, and the position they were in last game is the position that they've put Serenade in now.
So it seems like they might be able to KO here, unless the Tri-Strike saved them. Oh, that's a really quick KO.
Guys, I have a confession to make. Serenade was winning this whole time. So you cannot clip that saying that I commentator cursed them.
We were just told that the colors are wrong.
Yeah, we fixed the colors at the end. Thank you, production. I love you, production. Thank you for saving me there. I thought something was kind of funny with the Tetras, and then I was like, I'm a believe. Thank you, production. You guys work hard.
Thank you, production. But the set does go to Serenade.
Yep, and they are gonna go into Great White with a clean sweep throughout groups, and so they're probably feeling pretty good. They've got a little bit of a break before they get there because we've got a seed. We've got to wait for other matches to end up. Let's take a look at that bracket real quick. Okay. So it looks like in Great White, we're gonna have a lot of teams. I think right now most of the matches have actually finished up, and so looking at it, yeah, all the matches have finished up. We've got a couple 2-1s, a couple 2-2s. I don't see anything less than that, and so yeah, we've got all the matches in. It's going to take a second for seeding to kind of get started, so we are going to take a break. Before we take a break, though, I just wanted to give a little advert for Tripnacity. Have you been working on a team that doesn't quite have a 4th member yet? Don't fret, for Tripnacity is back. After a brief break, your favorite 3v3 tournament is returning this Saturday, October 19th. That's on Saturday at 7 p.m. EDT, so that's Eastern Time. Our artist, Rock, has returned to provide the winners of the tournament with an art prize. But that's not all. If you make it past the first round of groups, you'll be entered into a raffle for a free team montage created by Reef. We also reconstructed our tournament after frequent feedback. If you're interested, check out the Sendo.Inc page for Tripnacity, which will be linked in the chat at any given moment.
It will be fun. Trust.
Yes, indeed. And with that, we are going to be taking a break until the brackets are up. And so just give the TO some time to seed everything, make sure everything is running smoothly, and we will be back in a little bit.
Let's go! And I don't know how long this road goes out, but I got a date with a time trial showdown. Been a long while, I'll show the way through the wild miles. Ain't a chance we go out of style. Sky blue, it suits you. Reach there, I dare you to come through. In the air, we'll dance like we used to. Na 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 na. You're giving me a little mania. In a dash, we crash down the party. I can taste the race in your heartbeat. Na 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 na. You're giving me a little mania.
Antuvojovska. We return. We return. Storm is here as well. How do you feel about the next part?
I absolutely love these teams. Well, more specifically, Winter Storm. I think they've got a wonderful name. I think it's very original, and honestly, I guess it is getting time to where it's going to be winter, and there might be some snow coming down. I don't really. That's all I have to say, really. I just like that word.
Versus the meow.
I would say that's Kitty Heart, but that's just a personal preference. We've got Akai, Sakara, Typhlo, Rexy on Winter Storm, and we've got Rose, Mao, Is that supposed to be a cat? Okay. Mal, Luna, and the Lemon 27. And so we've got good players on both sides. Again, this is Great White. And so all these teams have played really well in this first stage of the brackets. And so now they're going to be making it into kind of this fight for the gold, fight for number one. We see Barnacle Dime zones. Tell me, do you have anything specific about that map mode that you kind of like, dislike, that you absolutely hate, that they should change or anything like that?
I don't really like the lack of verticality on that map compared to some other maps. Like, it's alright, but it feels a bit too flat for me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It is kind of that middle part, not really much else. If you're a backline, you probably love the map. If you're kind of more of a frontline slayer type weapon like how I am, it's the sides are a godsend, and especially like the bottom where you can just drop down and ego anybody who drops on you. That's my favorite part about that map. But no, you're right. It doesn't have too much verticality aside from whenever you're in base. But if you're in base, you're getting locked out, and nobody wants to be in that position.
Yeah. And it is like kind of questionable how the middle area in spawn is like a sort of a pit, while which kind of allows the enemy to just push you from above, and that can get really snowbally.
Yeah, this map is very, very interesting. A lot of people have different opinions on it. I know for a fact that I love playing Zuka on this map, and I love having someone with tri-strikes because, again, it's Splat Zones. You can basically use tri-strikes on any zones map and be okay. Now, the Zuka helps with that little high ground area that you don't really have much access to if you're on the attacking side, and then it helps you get in if you're on the defense side to be able to at least punch a hole in the defense somewhere, or at least push away people that are trying to get in your base.
So I wonder if we're going to be seeing any backlines, since you did mention it being quite powerful.
Yeah, we'd probably seen double pencil if I had to guess with these teams. A lot of these people are going to be playing what's the best, because I feel like if you're playing at this level, you want to play to win. And so right now that pencil is probably the best pick, unless they're going for a different type of comp that might be closer to an off meta. I don't like using that word, but we might be seeing someone that's trying something out, experimenting a little bit, that might have gotten bored with the pencil type of composition.
I do remember like plays struggling with how to use pencil right when it came out, but it does seem like people have gotten a lot better with it.
Yeah, I tried to use it for fun the other day, and I was basically like, okay, I'm just gonna use the weapon and see how I do, and I was getting good at killing people, but I feel like I wasn't doing good at coolering my teammates, because I was getting it on average 2.5, 3 coolers, which in a 5-minute game, everyone knows that is awful, and so I just switched to the red pen, because I felt like I was more helpful with the healing powers of that rain than I was anything else.
Okay, but the real question was it fun?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
Okay, that's
I'm
good
about to get hate, but I actually enjoyed playing pen. It's really fun.
Yippee!
But with that being said, I believe we're fixing to get into this set here in a second. Tomu, do you have any idea of what weapon you would like to see? Like, if you were to play, what weapon would you choose on this map and mode?
Well, V-Stringer, because it's the only weapon I play.
That's understandable, yeah. if you do one trick, then that I do expect that to be the weapon you would choose.
It's a really fun weapon to one trick because it's something that has quite a lot to it on each map, and you kind of have to spend some time learning the curves for every single wall and object.
Yeah, it definitely is a fun weapon that I haven't really gotten onto myself. It's a little difficult. We are getting into the match with a Mint Decavitator and a Zimmy Splatling. Funnily enough, we do actually have a scoped E-leader, which is not something you typically see around this skill level.
Yeah, I don't usually see scoped E-liters, but I do think they have a bit more range than the regular unscoped.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Winter Storm actually gets the first aggression here, and the Cat Heart get the first aggression here. They do already get the zone ticked down to 75. Means nothing this early on into the match, as one player already goes down. That Zimmy Splatling goes down to the blaster here. One player, another one going down. It's going to be that Zimmy again on the recall jump. Unfortunately, we're not seeing really anything come from Winter Storm's assault back into zone.
At the beginning, when Winter Storm had 2 down, the Cooler really saved their skins, and without that, I don't think they'd be able to have their push up right now.
Yeah, and that being said, they are already getting that second Cooler Rose Arrow, trying to get to it, actually have it, and throws it out front. That means that they're going to be in a good position where they can grab it and try and move up. Unfortunately, it gets called out by the Auto Bomb. We're seeing the Blaster out here, just taking space, not really letting anyone take the zone, which is really the right play here because, unfortunately, players are just throwing bombs and they're able to get in that way.
Now it looks like the Meow team is trying to push in. Winter Storm does have their specials up, and they're going to pop them one by one and slowly pick up the members of Cat.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see them, unfortunately, get taken on themselves. Does get one in the form of a trade and another one in the form of a trade, so it's a very even match right now. Rexy needs to not go down. Does get the E-leader in a very good fight. Unfortunately, though, that Wave Breaker does make it a trade. So that's 3 trades all at once. Another player went down, I believe, to the pencil player. I could be wrong, but we are going to be seeing Winter Storm taking this zone down a little bit further. Not much more anymore, but a really good position on the side of both these teams.
I kind of feel like the Cat team made the E emojis as their team name just to see what we call them, because it's actually kind of confusing me.
Maybe, I'm not quite sure. We do see Bunny out here trying to use those torpedoes to maximum efficiency. Does get picked behind, but before they die, they actually stay alive and they're able to back up and allow for the teams to get the kill. Unfortunately, goes down. We're really close. The Mint getting a second one might be able to hold on a little bit longer. They might be able to get the lead. They do flip it, and now Lennon's the last one alive. Not able to get any picks, but does able to solve on a little bit more. Does eventually get one pick onto the pencil. Goes down in the form of a trade, and now Rexy's in a good position to hold his right side, allow 4 players on this side of Winter Storm to build up their specials, and not allow for Cat Heart to get in any further.
Cat Heart does have their specials up, and they're going to pop them. But it seems like Winter Storm got their cooler up just in time, so in case they do go down, they're going to respawn fairly quickly, and that will severely reduce the damage of Cat's push.
Yeah, and if anyone dies when they have cooler, they respawn instantly. We're seeing a lot of fights being taken around zone, and on that left side, one player already goes down inside of both teams. Rosero trying to get a second one. That pencil trying to make some work happen on that left side. Not really able to do anything. We do see the Decapitator on the left. Starting there. Nobody knows until that torpedo called him out. They might be able to back up a little bit more. Not able to get any picks. The team does end up coming in clutch with that. But they're just holding zone here, trying to go further in that point on the board.
The schools are actually really close here, but for now, both teams would have to play pretty patiently if they want to be able to win this, since it's really easy for one of the teams to just panic and they let down the guard. But it does look like they get a wipeout, and that should be game for them.
Yeah, and just like how you're saying, they started to panic towards the end, so Winter Storm just decided to take advantage of that, allow the team to come to them, allow themselves to get in a position where they can crossfire the opponents if they started getting engaged, and eventually annihilated the entire team.
It is actually a pretty common strategy from what I've seen to set up a situation to make the enemy panic just so they could try catching them off guard and getting a few kills.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfectly valid strategy, because if you can get a kill or two, that limits the amount of work or a lot of ground that the opponents can take. And so with one less player, they have to take control of different areas around the map. That means that's one less area that you have to worry about the opponents being in, and it allows you to focus your firepower in more active parts of the map.
This does make me think though, I'd love to see somebody apply Sun Tzu Art of War topics to Splatoon.
That would be very fun and very time consuming for whoever does that. But I actually think going through each individual scenario would be kind of funny to see if there's a way that you can make that relevant. Because isn't there one where it talks about like food?
I'm not actually too familiar with what's in the book, but I can definitely imagine it being relevant to the game.
Yeah, I think there's something that talks about like if your army is hungry, they won't fight well, or something like that. I don't. That's gonna be a hard one to find a correlation with, unless you're talking about like the literal person. But I don't know.
Yeah, like if you're hungry IRL, you're not gonna play well because you're gonna be focused on your starvation.
That is very true. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what Sun Tzu had intended whenever he wrote that. Like, we don't know.
Maybe the cat team is just hungry because cats are like that.
That could very well be it. I'm looking at this right now, and it looks like this is like the last match we were kind of commentating, the last couple matches. This is a best of 3, and so still whoever wins this basically will move on to the next portion of the bracket. But Winter Storm's in a better position because they've already got one win under the belt. That means that Cat Art needs to win 2 matches in order to move on to the next part of the bracket.
It does look like they will be bringing in the decaf again, and we're gonna be seeing the Elite scoop again as well.
Yeah, I think the comps were pretty similar. We do see a Wiper come out on the side of Cat Heart. It doesn't seem to be putting in too much work. Players are trading all around, so it is a little too early to tell if the pick will be the deciding factor between the team compositions. But we are seeing the early pop going on the side of Cat Heart. Winter Storm is just trying to at least stay alive a little bit. Unfortunately, 3 go down. There's just 1 player left. Bunny able to eventually get the trade with 2 other players on that team. They do get the early Rainmaker break, and this is actually looking pretty, not anymore, not looking really good with those 2 jump-ins dying to the Rainmaker.
Honestly, getting pop at the start of Rainmaker on this map is really not that important because no one really, well, you don't really benefit from it because it doesn't really paint and it doesn't do that much damage in that position either.
Yeah, that little top center part doesn't really have much benefit for anyone. But we do see, because they popped it pretty quickly, Cat Art is able to take the points down to 45, which not a lot on this map, but any lead is better than everything.
There is a push really deep in of Cat Heart's pace. What are the other teams?
I think Winter Storm. I'm not sure. I don't see them quite yet, but we do see one player going down. Another player, the Mint, unfortunately not able to get the trade. Rose is in a really good spot, not able to really do much. Tries to back up. Unfortunately, gets taken out by the Blaster player. The Blaster's coming out with the. Oh no, they got taken down while they had that bubble. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to use that to their effort. Lemon getting taken down somehow below the spot that they actually landed, but I'm not going to question it. We're actually seeing a really good reset on the side of Winter Storm.
Player that was quite like ambushed by the Rainmaker shield, and they did get a little chip from it. I was thinking it might be possible to like chip combo into a Rainmaker shield.
Yeah,
maybe like the enemy team could have benefited from the Rainmaker being put in that position and chipping people who decide to drop off the flat over there.
Yeah, and if you can put it in a good spot, you can also use the explosion to damage people. We do see Lemon unfortunately going down while trying to grab that Rainmaker and push it further. They're really just kind of putting the Rainmaker kind of like in an offering position on the side of Winter Storm. They do eventually actually grab it and take it down to 20 players on the side of Winter Storm. We're a little distracted. Unfortunately, get taken out by Bunny. Bunny gets put out in a trade. Lemon trying to jump in and make something work, but that Decapitator was able to at least get the kill there and reset the positions of Cat Heart Heart. We've got 1 minute and 42 left, and Winter Storm still has not taken the pedestal back.
Lemon was absolutely cooking with that push. I'm kind of surprised that it took that long to afford Winter Storm to notice it.
Yeah, it was just a mix of bad positioning and good awareness on the side of Lemon. We're seeing Cat Heart Heart take a lot of really good positions this match and a lot of good special usage as well as team fights. One player going down, but the Wave Breaker does call out the Blaster, giving the E-Leader time to back up. They do, unfortunately, not get any picks, but they stay alive long enough to where they're able to at least put in some pressure on the map.
That felt really aggressive on the Slosher to just rush in onto an enemy like that, but they are able to get 2 picks, and they do get taken down by the decap eventually.
And actually, Winter Storm's in a really good position. If they get their wipeout, they do. Bunny does get the trade, so that does put Winter Storm in a weird spot. They only have 30 seconds left to get the lead of 20. Lemon does get one, might try to go for another with that awesome wiper weapon. Does get taken out in the form of 2 players, but Winter Storm's still not in a bad spot. They've got 1 special online, and they've got a couple more on the way here in a minute if they can position themselves accordingly.
The flat there is really well painted by Cathart, but they are throwing bombs up there, and the Lemon drops the Rainmaker, and that absolutely destroys the push.
Yeah, and we do have 2 players that already went down on the side of Cat Heart Heart. They get taken out. Winter Storm unfortunately called out and tagged by that E-Leader, which means that Cat Heart Heart is taking this to game 3 and saying, hey, I know it's storming outside and I know there's a lot of snow, but I'm not giving up yet. I'm still going outside. I'm still getting my milk and my donuts.
Milk and donuts. But yeah, that E-Leader absolutely saved the game.
Yeah, and I mean, it was pretty deciding by Cat Heart Heart until that last minute and a half. They pretty much had the Rainmaker on the opposing team's side, and Winter Storm was in a good position. Unfortunately, I think if that trade didn't come out from Bunny onto the decap, they probably would have been able to take the lead, and this would be a different outcome, but that's not what happened. Cat Heart Heart was able to hold on and put enough aggression up on the board to where they're still in it to fight for the win.
And we're gonna be getting humpback zones again, so I wonder how this match would differ from the one we saw previously.
Well, these teams seem to be wanting to play a little bit more aggressive comps, and so I feel like if we're staying with that Mint Decapitator, we're going to see them play that right side, go for a couple flanks if available, and I think the E-Leader, though, on the side of Cat Heart Heart is actually going to stay. try to go maybe that window area on the bottom right from base. And if they can do that, they might be able to get an early pick onto the opposing team's backline. They might be able to get an early pick onto a good frontline player. Just any pick at the very beginning would help shape the rest of the match because it puts a lot of open rounds or open realms for the rest of the team to kind of go in from.
I must agree on you with when you said that these teams play a bit more aggressive than the previous one. I've seen plenty of aggressive plays that will turn into, well, massive ink explosions.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when people get splattered.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing right here, right now, the E-leader does end up staying as a pick. One player's already going for a flank on the side of Cat Heart Heart. Lemon trying to make some work, actually backing up the opposing backline, allowing for the rest of the team to take on a fight in mid. Unfortunately, 2 players from Cat Heart Heart go down. That strategy didn't quite work like how they wanted, but they're back fast and the zone was just capped, so that's going to allow for them to come back pretty quickly and not a lot of points being lost.
I have noticed that Winter Storm did try to go for special instead of going for zone at the start of the game, and that seems like it's working in their favor.
That's been working pretty well. 3 players are already go down on the side of Winter Storm, though. They are going to have some specials pretty close to being popped in a second once they respawn. Lemon's taking this right side, trying to get there early. Unfortunately, too much splash damage does get them, and now Winter Storm's getting player advantage, only temporarily because that cooler was out.
That was a really risky play from the blaster, jumping right into the enemy and getting a really good shot on that E-liter.
Yeah, that was a really good kill. Unfortunately, they do go down as well because of it, but I think it was worth it. I think in the end, that leader not being there allowed for the rest of the team to kind of take the positions they did. And now, Cat Heart Heart is in a good spot to at least take the zone back. Not a lot of points were gained on either side, so the lead's going to shift pretty early. Not really much of a factor, being honest, but we do see players going down on the side of Cat Heart Heart with that cooler, so they'll be back pretty quickly.
The shot there died really close to their special. If they were like, if they survived a bit longer, they might have been able to change the state of the game with the tri-strikes.
Yeah, and I mean, the lead goes over to Winter Storm now. We do see 2 specials on each side going down. I think it's whoever pops them first is going to try and take that zone, and successfully does on the side of Cat Heart Heart. 1 player on each side going down, another player, almost 3. We're seeing the Blaster stay alive just by a hair. Not able to get any hits onto this wiper here. Lemon trying to make some work done, but the jump-ins come in clutch and keep Winter Storm going. They only have 20 seconds left. They just have to keep holding this. And it seems like with 10 seconds left, they do keep it up, and some players are going down. 3 players down, and it looks like, Tomi, that is going to be the set for Winter Storm.
They were really close to taking the zone back in the last second, and that would have been really bad for Winter Storm because that put a really big penalty on their score. But that didn't happen, and they got a pretty clean victory.
Yeah, I think they played that really well, pretty decisive, and I think one thing that a lot of people forget about Splat Zones is sometimes it is a game of tug of war. Sometimes you have to let them take the zone a little bit. Sometimes you have to let them take mid so that you have time to regroup, you have time to make sure that you have all the resources you need, all the resources you want, so that you can employ a strategy that would be very effective and put the enemy team in a worse position than they were before you gave up that zone.
Yeah. By the way, I have been thinking about this for a while, but like the player called the Lemon 27 reminds me of this cryptic ad that I saw a really long time ago of the Legend 27.
That could be it. That might actually be the play on words.
That is probably the reference here.
It definitely could be.
I have no clue what the ad was for, but I just remember that name.
Yeah, and I mean, again, we're going to be seeing Winter Storm be going on into the rest of Great White. They're going to be versing Patrickar, one of the teams that went 2-1 against one weapon, but RW3 motif. And so, I don't quite know what that team name is, but they were the second seed, so this is actually going to be a pretty close fight that they'll be going up against, because those players are probably running off of a lot of motivation and a lot of momentum from winning against a really, really good team.
It can actually get really stressful later on if you've been winning, but it does feel good.
Yeah, it definitely does feel good. We're seeing for the rest of the sets, Excalibur goes 2-1 against the Sun goes down, Stars come out, and we're seeing Nocturne going 2-0 against Serenade, the team we actually had watched back in the group stages. And so Serenade's gonna be sent home pretty early from this tournament.
Well played for both teams. We are going to have a commentator switch now, so we will be hopping off.
Yeah, and so I greatly appreciate all the staff of SOS for allowing us to participate in this tournament as not only spectators but also commentators. It definitely is a blessing to hone in on a craft like this. Tomu, when you're not commentating, where can other players find you?
You can find me on Twitter, and my username is Phantom with an underscore at the end. And I also take commissions, and you can find me on VGen. The URL would just be vgen.co/Phantom. How about you? Where could we find you, Storm?
Yeah, you can find me on mostly every social media that I kind of care about with general_storm1. If it's not like that, it probably means I don't care about the social media. So you wouldn't be missing out if you couldn't find me on it.
Okay, good to know.
All right, with that, we will be swapping over, and so we'll be heading to a quick break before the rest of Great White, and we'll be having Rocket and Topic take over for commentaries for the rest of the night.
Goodbye, Woomies and Vimos.
Hello everyone, welcome back to SOS 165. We are here with round number 2. I am Topic, I am joined by Rocket, of course, and we have two teams for you. We got Destiny versus Riku Soul. We're getting first, and Rocket, whoever Riku is, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, a lot of pressure being put on Riku for sure. You see them there on the player list, so maybe a little bit of extra motivation like you were talking about before we hopped onto the mic. Their souls may be sacrificed to the Shadow Realm if they aren't winning, but hey, that might provide the confidence or, you know, actually pressure to win here. But yeah, both of these teams have had pretty dominant tournament runs so far here. If you take a look at Destiny's run so far, they've only dropped one map so far, and that was in the previous round against Wavebreaker. However, they did eventually win that series 2-1. But on the other side, Riku Soul has been undefeated so far, just straight dominance so far, winning all of their sets 2-0.
So what I'm hearing is we got two very good teams, one person who was souls on the line here, so a little desperation might be in play, but let's see how they start off with game number 1, Splat Zone's Umami Ruins.
Yeah, you typically see on this map a variety of different strategies implemented here. Obviously, mid is always important in not only just being able to control the pace of the game, but having that height advantage in the middle. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what both these teams bring out. We see a pretty standard comp on one side, having blasters on both actually, which makes my heart happy. But I see an Explosher as well for Riku Soul, which I think is a very interesting pick to have as your long-range weapon here.
I mean, I understand it because Explosher is genuinely is possibly the best backliner for Zone specifically because it does have that splash damage. It does have, and this one specifically does have the splashdown to just kind of cover a lot of area. But so far, Riku Soul is doing a pretty good job getting the first hold, getting it down to 84, and popping the crab early in a pretty risky spot. So a very good opening for Riku.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Explosion having so much value here already, managing to find another as well, not only with the splashdown, but also the pick there as well. They will eventually go down, and actually 3 members of Riku Soul go down there, so now Destiny will have the control of map, and just like that, Impact's finishing things off with the wipeout as well, in great position as well to hold on to this with Cooler Allen with 2 specials available. This could get Destiny's push rolling here.
I mean, so far, they're rolling with not a lot stopping them. They're going to get down to 77 in a really good spot to take the lead, which they are going to do. And I want to talk about their comps. Both teams are super, super similar. They both have the bucket. They both have the custom blasters. They both have a pretty good painter. And they both have a pretty decent backliner for painting. So just a matter of which team can use that to their advantage, as Sarah winning that fight there, trying to get Riku Soul in. It's going to work, but not a lot, because so far Destiny is holding on for dear life.
Yeah, Destiny is just trying to throw everything they have and the kitchen sink as well here, going straight for the attempted knockout here. And it looks like they are in no good pace to do it with the crab and with the Cooler on their backs as well. Things are looking dire for Riku Soul, who now has to make a last-second push here if they want to stay into this. Only 14 left on the score, however, it does look like Riku Soul will at least manage to get this, and that is actually a delayed wipe for Destiny now. Just the blaster left. They will get taken down by the rallying members of Riku Soul, and it is now their turn to climb back this hill as they are nearing the end of the penalty point already.
Yeah, they're going to chew through that, but now the question becomes, can you hold off Destiny? Because the main difference between Destiny and Riku Soul's comp is the crab. They do have that secondary long-range option that they could use, so using that advantage might help. Zenith with 1, Zenith with 2, getting a nice double. Unfortunately, not able to get the crab, as Hazama there isn't able to save the splash and try to keep their teammate, or try to get their teammate, but so far it's not working. Destiny or Riku Soul doing a really good defense. The counter splashdown is gonna work out, leaving only the pencil, which is gonna go down eventually.
Yeah, another delayed wipe in favor of Riku Soul, who have been able to bring this back really effectively, nearing passing Destiny's score here, nearingly taking the lead. They will eventually take the lead here. Now it's Destiny's turn that they need to go in. Impact managing to find a pick, but throwing the Tri-Strikes as well. Need to hop onto this if they want to stay alive, but it will not be the case, as Enrico Soul have been able to overcome a quite a big deficit there at the beginning. It looked super close, as Destiny was going straight for the knockout with almost 14 left onto their point total, but Enrico Soul were able to punch back with a valiant effort.
Yeah, and I think the main thing behind that was how they countered the specials. I think we both saw it. We saw anytime Destiny splashed down, guess what? There was a counter splashdown. Anytime there was a Tri-Strike, guess what? There was a counter Tri-Strike. There was always Riku Soul always had something in their back pocket, which worked out for them, because by the time Destiny used their specials, by the time that they exhausted their resources, Riku Soul was still, they had zone, they weren't panicking, they most likely only used one special and just used the rest to push back Destiny.
Yeah, and now we switch over to a different mode. Same map though, we're still on Umami Ruins, which is something you don't normally see often, where you just switch the mode, not the map. But straight into things, we are going onto Clamblitz Umami Ruins, which I think really would just, I wouldn't expect any weapon changes, maybe a little bit of a tempo change, but what do you think, Topic?
I kind of agree. Like, honest to God, the only thing is a tempo change, because clams in zones are, while not polar opposites, they are they're different enough to where you can't kind of play as stally. Because if you play stally, you're not gonna get clams and you're not gonna win. And as we see, no changes from Destiny, no changes from Riku Soul, so they feel comfortable, they know what they're gonna do. Actually, no, scratch that. There is one change. That is a vanilla range blaster, so a bit of longer range, a bit with wave breaker to kind of force a lot more uncomfortable fights for Riku Soul.
Yeah, also as well, actually, Kamina switching over to the V-Shot here, which allows for a added element of having that Zuka, which can allow Destiny to really get their pushes in. And already off to a blazing start, you saw 3 players of Enrico Soul going down there. There's the Zuka pop, already faked.
Oh my god.
They lined up perfectly there for Kamina to line them up and knock them down, kind of like bowling pins. And already, just like that, Destiny are already in with a vengeance. They are not taking that previous loss lightly. Already in with the Tri-Strikes, already in with the players here, and already down to the 50-point mark. A ball is also being formed in the backline. Let's see if this push can be held up here.
I mean, talk about taking the first swing and making it count. Destiny getting down to 44, and with very low signs of stopping, they're gonna pop the cooler to try to keep it going, but the spot is gonna force them away. But so far, Destiny with a really strong opening and sending a very clear message to Riku Soul. Game 1 might have been a fluke, but we are here for a reason. We are going to win, and we are going to dominate. And so far, they've been doing just that, as Riku Soul is going to be 2 down again. Even though Destiny is 2 down themselves, they're in such a good spot because they have the range blaster and pencil in mid. It'll be very, very difficult for Riku Soul to get anywhere.
Yes, but we saw how well, Topic, in the previous game they were able to punch back after what seems like a very big deficit here, managing to find one, that range blaster. However, 3 players of Destiny are going down, just like I'm kind of just was talking about here. Enrico Soul now have an opportunity to really get in the push, and the range blaster will fall initially to Kamina on that shot, and so far, the rest of Enrico Soul have been kind of thwarted here on this push a little bit, just because of how Destiny has been able to set themselves in such advantageous positions. You see that pencil up there causing so much havoc and just making it a sniper range, discouraging any members of Enrico Soul in pushing here. Maybe specials need to be built in order for Enrico Soul, or a pick like that from Zenith to get in, but just a blink of your eye, Enrico Soul's pushes is just gone there. Now, Destiny's able to take over.
I mean, you pointed out earlier, it was the pencil. It just gave Destiny that added paint. It gave them that added pressure. And like what we saw there, when we saw, I believe, the zap on Riku Soul go in, they went down immediately, and another one went down too. So it was just Destiny was able to use their comp so well to their advantage and kind of just shut down Riku Soul's push before it even started. Now we're back in this neutral situation where both teams trying to get something going. Riku Soul gonna go 2 down, 3 down, wipe out for Riku Soul. Destiny with a lot of clams to go, trying to eat through this penalty, which they're gonna try to do, though Riku Soul is there almost immediately with the respawn.
They are continuing with their aggressiveness, and I like it a lot here. Keep taking the fights to them, but they need to make sure that there needs to be some value here. They will at least get a couple more points on there as they are able to break through the barrier, but this is the thing about Clam Blitz. You gotta worry about that quick counterattack, and counterattacking is what Riku Soul is doing right now. You see the cooler, you have 19 clams to their name and 2 specials as well. Keely, the Tri-Strikes, and that Splash Dart could cause Destiny a lot of damage there if they're not careful, as those specials are super powerful.
Yeah, and Destiny has been keeping Riku Soul at bay. They've been stuck in mid. The one opportunity they got to get into Destiny's base, it got shut down immediately. Now, we're under 60 seconds left. Riku Soul are trying to push, but here they go again. They're gonna go 2 down. They have Sarah in the backline, so they're gonna be able to not able to find a pick and just have to or forced to back away. It's just Destiny is playing some super solid defense. But even there, even though they went 1 down, they have the team was there to kind of make that a trade instead of being a straight up kill.
Yeah, and we're nearing the 30-second mark. A very nice suction bomb kill there, Proto. Just the bucking was unable to notice it there, but 3 specials are available for Riku's Soul, but if they want to make something happen, they need to make it happen now, and they need to overcome this giant deficit that they are facing here. The ball will eventually be made, but the players aren't there to capitalize on it. It's just a 1v1 with the blasters left here. 7 seconds left, just 77 points left on Riku's Soul, but it's looking all Destiny here if they can really just hold out just for a couple more seconds left in overtime.
I mean, yeah, this is where the desperation might happen. Kamina trying to really stop the ball. It's not gonna work. Riku's Soul is gonna get it in. They can get the second power, but they don't have any more clams to follow up. They get the 50 or 45. They have 2 clams right now, so now Destiny has to hold on. Sarah going for Kamina here with the Zuka. It's not gonna work. Proto scoring it, gonna get down to 33. Monty Mole not gonna get it. 1 point. Oh my god. Destiny holds on by 1 point. Riku's Soul, that's gotta hurt. You were right there. It was just, if you had an extra second, that would have been the game.
I almost just had a heart attack, Topic. I thought there wasn't enough time for a follow-up push, and then all of a sudden, 2 players on Destiny were down, and there were 2 super clams just chugging along straight for the goal, and yeah, like you mentioned, just 1 clam could have made the difference there, but Destiny now evening things up 1-1, and we are moving on to game number 3, Splat Zone's Macomart, but oh my goodness, like, even though Riku's Soul wasn't able to, like, complete the comeback fully, it just shows how dangerous they are in being able to come back. We saw a little bit in game 1, like I already mentioned, but with such little time, still managing to come that close to taking the game back and basically stealing that game is just amazing.
You know, we call that the Clam Blitz special. It's just, you could just pelt as many clams at the basket as possible. They got 2 powers and they got so many mini clams. They were 1 short, but now we go on to game 3, where both of these teams have to put the first 2 games behind them, as this is do or die Mako zones. I am not a fan of Mako Marts in general. It's just not for me. I do see why this is very a very common map, because it is genuinely one of the better maps in Splatoon 2, because it has that variation of ways to get in. You do have those streets. It's very accessible, basically. It's the best way I could put it. It's like you can access most of the map at any time.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say in terms of what weapons will really thrive here, obviously blasters, but let me strive away from that a little bit and actually talk about Explosher here. If we see the Explosher used again, I think this is a really great map because of the tight quarters you mentioned in the street there. We see Kamina going back to the Neo Splash, actually having that Tri-Slosher. Monty Mole still sticking with that Explosher Keeley. It looks like a repeat basically of game 1 here with the weapons, and I'm not surprised at all because this seems to be what both teams are running for their designated splat zones.
I might be wrong, but I do believe Kamina switched over to the Neo Splash.
Yes.
So they now they do have double strikes, but so far Riku Soul is gonna strike first, getting 2 down on Destiny and getting the first push started. They do have a cooler, and this is exactly what a lot of teams like to do on Makeamore, is to get control of Snipe. Look how far out Monty Mole is. They are so aggressive in making sure that Destiny cannot get anything going. The splashdown here, yep, there's splashdown. Gonna get a 1 by surprise. Monty Mole able to jump out, but Riku Soul looking super strong with a really good hold here. Destiny, they gotta do something.
Yeah, the area of denial that Zenith has on the blaster and Monty Mole has on the Explosion Finishing Fund 2 there, just continuing to put on this pressure. 2 players are down for Enrico's Soul. This is the opportunity that Destiny needs to get back into this, and this needs to happen quick. He's near the 12-point mark. Enrico's Soul was on a roll from the beginning there, but now eventually Destiny will eventually rally to this and almost take the zone here. Monty Mole has other plans though, continuing to paint this. 10 seconds left. Things could be dire here. Monty Mole with key splashdown just to create space, but the zone is still painted pretty orange. Destiny's still holding on to everything they have. Another great pick there from Monty Mole, and just like that, a quick 100-0 knockout from Enrico's Soul.
You know what? Shout out Monty Mole. Bro just popped off. I don't know what else to say. It was like a 1v3 or something like that. They were by themselves and they just managed to paint the entire zone by themselves basically. They kept it alive even though Destiny had their team they went down, they had their teammates jumped in. They just kept it alive. I have no words. They just, you know what? They took game 2 to heart, is the best way I could put it. They took it to heart. Like, you know what? We don't want this to get closer. We don't want this to come down to the final seconds. We are winning this game right here, right now. You're not getting zone, and you're not doing anything.
Yeah, during that entire time, we saw Monty Mole just, like, even at the beginning topic, you were mentioning how aggressive Monty Mole was playing, and even near the end, still making their presence known, refusing to go down, and that was just what led Enrico's Soul to really roll on there, and fortunately enough for Riku, at the very least, their Soul will remain with them for another round, where they will face the winners of either Preacher, I think, or Winter Storm here in the other quarterfinals in the lower section of the bracket here. That matchup is still 1-1. However, our other semifinals is already at least lined up in terms of teams. Pumas, Cats, and I'm not these long names, man. Help me out here.
Liammochamocher.
Yeah,
okay. It's just
okay,
3 names.
No, I see it now. It's just a bunch of names combined. Oh my god, my dyslexic self hurts when I see that. But yes, Liammochamocher, which is a very stacked team looking at their players. They're 1 seed, obviously, but actually now a little update here as we were just yapping about it. Pet Richer, or however you want to pronounce it.
It's Petrichor.
Petrichor? Okay, cool. Yeah, Petrichor. Thank you. Petrichor will be facing Enrico's Soul in the other semifinals, but just so we can let everything get situated, I believe we are going to take a very short break, if I'm not mistaken here, unless the next match is ready for us. But yeah, what a series here by Destiny, at least trying to keep things close, because oh my god, it was a roller coaster nonetheless.
I mean, those first 2 games, I think they both went down to overtime, or like very close to overtime. Honestly, I could have seen this going 2-0 really quickly, because Destiny looked super strong game number 1. They just lost just lost control of zone at the absolute worst times. They bounced back in game number 2, and then Riku's Soul just completely took over game number 3. So this could have been anyone's set. But enough of us yapping. We're going to take a very quick break, and we'll get back to you with our semifinals.
We are back here with Swimmer Sync 165 here, and we are introducing ourselves into semifinals between Liammochamocher versus Puma's Cats here. And what a map to start it on as well. We are hopping straight into Splat Zone's Humpback Pump Track, which is something you don't see often at all, because normally, I actually had to read that again. I was expecting Rainmaker, but here we are in Zones topic.
You know what? I'm a Bucket main. Love this map. It's so much fun because Bucket can do so much stupid stuff on it because of the height elevations, and it's just a fun map. But yeah, overall, I do think I like Zones Humpback mainly because I'm Bucket main, and that's it.
You know what? Fair argument. And taking a look at our other maps here, frequent viewers normally wouldn't see Brinewater Springs as of late, but here we are here. Game number 2 will be Clan Blitz Brinewater Springs, and I'd love to see the little bit of variety we are seeing now with in terms of how the community and we all have just tried to, I guess, try something new, and I'm always down to see it, because normally you would expect like Rainmaker on Humpback. You wouldn't even see Brinewater at all, but we're a little reminiscent of early Splatoon 3, don't you think, Topic?
Okay, am I crazy? Did Brinewater get like a rework? I'm pretty sure it did, right? Or like it got or there's like they added something to it? I don't remember. I'm drawing
a blank as well, but if there is, then we are not doing our research as commentators, unfortunately. But if there is, then I'm interested to see if there's any changes, but I don't think there was a rework, at least from what I remember it. But anyways, moving away from that, Liammochamocher is our number 1 seed for a reason. They have an all-star lineup here. There's a lot of names you probably recognize. Harshi. Oh, god dang it, I did it again. I remember Harshi, Helno, Mocha, and Ray Jeff, and Lucas. Very, very, very prominent names indeed. On the other side, Puma's Cats, Micah, Puma, Nex, Catnap. Pretty good as well here. They are undefeated, Puma's Cats, that is. They have not dropped a map or series in this entire tournament. Same thing can be said about Liammochamocher as well, but the difference being Puma's Cats played an extra set, and they're still rolling with it.
I mean, that extra set kind of helps, you know, get yourselves not warmed up per se, but like get you more comfortable, you know, because a lot of times what will happen is a team, like especially like Liammocha, I'm gonna have trouble saying that name too. I'm just calling him Liam. Liam will, since they are the higher seed, they usually have to wait longer for their games to start. So maybe their opponent coming a little hotter than they would like. But as we see from Puma's Cats, Puma's Cats, a very, very aggressive comp. They got Tetras, they got Stamper, they got Brush. They want to be up in your face. And on the side of Liammochamocher, a more standard comp, except for the Wiper, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, we're gonna see a sword battle between these two Vipers. Actually, we see the Viper already go down for Liammochamocher here, and Puma is continuing to lead. A nice burst bomb kill as well. What a throw there from Puma, and already off to a strong hold here. Puma's Cat already managing to take point and take a lead a little. However, Harshi is going to be trying to contest it a little bit on that pencil there. There is the sword part right there. However, it is now Stamp versus actually Zipcaster. Puma will manage to get away from that one, at least temporarily, but Puma's Cats are still on point.
Yeah, they're still going to get it, but 2 down is not what you really want to see. Henlo in the corner here is going to just stay alive for a lot longer than one would expect, and so far, Liammochamocher has an opportunity to get some points on the board. Next, trapped in the corner, is going to be able to jump out and pop the whale from base, and so far, Puma Cat's looking to respond super quickly, though. Liammochamocher, they got the clue, so even if they go down, they'll be able to come back to the fight almost instantly.
Yeah, but we see the use of the splashdown. Maybe we can find one there, but this Blaster still trying to cause nuisance in this corner as Puma's Cats are still on the point very convincingly. However, the tri-strikes and the paint from the pencil will eventually lead to a flipping of the zone in Liammochamocher's favor, but Puma's Cats are not giving up on this at all as 2 players from Liammochamocher, the Splash and the Blaster, do fall, and we're seeing a great back and forth, but so far we see a double actually from the stand. I was just talking about that, but it has been back and forth so far.
I mean, yeah, Puma's kind of forced to use the zip caster to get away. It's not gonna work out. So both of these teams' comp in reality are very, very fight heavy. That's a nice kill there on this splashdown. But both these comps just want to fight, and they have that backline to kind of support them. So, you know, a lot of fights happen in these games. I would expect nothing less. Liammochamocher trying to expedite that process with the cooler onto zone. They're going to take the lead, but Puma's Cats easily is going to try to get something going, but get 3 down immediately. The pencil on Liammochamocher is going to snipe the inkjet out of the air, and Liammochamocher looking really strong with a wipeout there.
This could be where the floodgates open, Topic. This could be where Liammochamocher goes straight for the knockout here. Brush manages to find one onto the point. Already pencil going down as well, and this could actually be now into Puma's Cat's favor. There they go. The point will be flipped here, but it was looking pretty bad so far. Puma's just looking for more here, trying to hunt down Ultra Solo on this flush, but we are seeing the use of the tri-strikes as well to try to contest it, but it will not be had as there will be no follow-up onto point to take advantage of that.
I mean, so far, Puma's Cats is doing what they can to keep this lead going, keep control of zone. They're gonna go for a trade though. Ultra Solo able to get the ball point even though they had drop roll in. So far, even though Puma's Cats are gonna go 2 down, they're doing everything they can. They, unfortunately, well, Commentators curse apparently, they lost zone almost immediately, but Puma's Cats are still fighting in the zone, and next, somehow gonna survive Splashdown, the best special in the game, of course. But so far, it's just been a lot of back and forth. Both of these teams have been going blow for blow. They've been scrapping all throughout the match.
Yeah, I see the stamp pop as well. We'll find one in its wake and actually find another there onto the brush. 3 players are down for Puma's Cats, and this could be huge for Liammochamocher as now they are chipping away at the humongous penalty here. Nearing the minute mark, we do see the Splat lane having their specials ready, so this could be an opportunity for Puma's Cats to hold this because they need to get onto the point now, and they will with that jet kill onto the pencil. They're finally finding the value and taking down Harshie here. 45 seconds left. This is very vital for Puma's Cats comeback.
I mean, yeah, so far they only have about 10 points left on their penalty. They just have to hold on. They have 50 seconds. They're going to eat through their penalty right here, though the strikes, though, are going to try to shut that down, and almost like a flip of a switch, Liammochamocher is going to take control of zone and get 2 down, 3 down on top of Puma's Cats, and now, if you're Puma's Cats, the momentum just flipped in an instant. You have 15 seconds to try to take control of zone. Puma on the scamper is going to try to neutralize it, but it's not going to do much for long. And now, here comes desperate times calling for desperate measures. Puma's Cats trying to rush into zone. It's not going to work. The hammer's coming out. The GG strikes are going to come out. The hammer's going to come out. And Liammochamocher is going to hold on to zone and will take game number 1 in honestly, a very close game. It really came down to Liammochamocher won that last fight.
Yeah, it was very contested. We saw basically two different games being played there. At the beginning, we saw a very, very, very aggressive Puma's Cats, and they were just able to really hold on to the point pretty effectively. But in the later half, we saw Liammochamocher really waking up, and like you mentioned there, they were able to hold on and be that last team, get that last push, and that's really what all you need sometimes, getting that final blow. And now we are moving on to Clam Blitz Brightwater Springs with Liammochamocher up 1-0.
Okay, so my knowledge may be a little bit limited on this map mode because I haven't seen it in months, but the most I remember, because I promise I remember there used to be like something about they changed some blocks or something like that, but that's neither here nor there. But on this map, it really comes down to who gets on ramp first, right? Because the ramp is like your gateway to not only the basket, but also the enemy spawn, which I'm pretty sure like a lot of clams kind of spawn on that ramp area. So taking control of that for either team is really, really big. So weapons like the pencil can strive here, since I'm pretty sure you can reach the enemy's snipe from your snipe. So I expect the backliners to be very, very important here, since they kind of control the tempo of the game.
Yeah, Puma's Cats are gonna have their hands really tied in what they can do if they can't counter Hershey on that pencil. We saw them providing so much value in already a map that really favors pencil in Splat Zone's Hopback Pump Track, with being able to have free reign of basically the entire point, and they played that pretty much almost uncontestedly. But something interesting I want to point out here, if we do see, I think Tri-Strikes and Big Bubble are going to be very key specials if we see a Big Bubble here, but I definitely for sure the Tri-Strikes could be provided something to use. But we actually see Hershey switching to the red pencil here, a little bit interesting here, switching to obviously that Ink Storm and Ink Wall, and now going with the end zap for that cooler.
Oh, I forgot to point this out last game, but Puma's Cats don't have a cooler. So that's we completely glossed over that. But yeah, we are gonna see a couple of fights going down. Puma's Cats gonna draw first blood here and just go forward. They're gonna get the first score. They have a couple games to follow up with. The Tetris here in a really bad spot, though with help from the Inkjet's gonna manage to get out of there. There's Rootsider at the ready, so looks like they're gonna decide to just hold on to it for now. Maybe get a couple more clams, and they get it just in time, but gonna go down. So Puma's Cat's first push, gonna go under 60, which is really what you want to do. So that's a pretty good first push, but Liammochamocher is looking for a really good response.
Yeah, that could be something that Puma's Cats really use to their advantage as well. That reach slider on those dualies. It could really open up a door, but we're seeing actually Liammochamocher go 3 down here. He's just left it. Enla with the stamp, just trying to find any stragglers here, managing to find eventually next and trying to slow down Puma's Cats' advance as they wait for the rest of their team to come back and rally. But we see Puma's Cats have 2 specials available, and what 2 specials they are. The Zipcaster now shut down, and the Jet that is still being held on by that ballpoint splatling in the back. They're just waiting for an opportunity to really strike here. However, both teams are now still finding it over mid here as picture going left, right, center.
I mean, yeah, a lot's gonna happen. Liammochamocher gonna go 1 down, though I actually get a trade out of this. So now we're kind of back in this neutral situation where it's gonna be kind of hard for teams to get something going. But the second I say that, guess what? Puma gets another 1 down. Doesn't be 2 down. The Tetris forced to grab a ball and just forced to kind of get it out of into safety. It's not gonna work out. But it's just been picks back and forth and back and forth. Other than that first push from Puma's Cats, this match has been kind of neutral. Like, neither team has been able to gather the resources they really need. Neither team has been able to get like a definitive like 3 down or wipeout. So it might just be that this might just end up a lot of neutral for now, but so far Liammochamocher is trying to break through it. It's not working.
Yeah, Puma's Cats have been able to now rally with a ball of their own. Now both teams have a ball, but Keely, the ball in Liammochamocher's possession, it goes down right there, as I was about to mention, and actually so does Puma's Cats ball. They both disappear, and now, like you mentioned, we're still back into kind of a neutral state here, as both teams are really just trying to test each other, trying to find an opportunity. Puma does go down onto the side of Puma's Cats, and Enlo has stamp available here to try to turn things around for Liammochamocher with the cooler on their backs as well. This could really prove useful if they use the special correctly here, but they will go down to that brush and technically.
I mean, but thankfully they did have a cooler, so now not much loss there, as so far Liammochamocher is going to get 2 down on Puma's Cats and try to advance. Tetris is going to go down. Henlo with a double kill. So now Liammochamocher, this might be the opportunity that they need, and this is super, super good for Liammochamocher having that rain there, because rain on this map is really good because it kind of gets clear out and get a lot of chip damage onto the enemy ramp because they're kind of forced to go that way. Henlo is going to go in, going to get 1, but a flank is going to get the ball down for Liammochamocher. The Tetris for Puma's Cats gonna do just that, but Henlo picks it up, gonna go down unfortunately, and Liammochamocher didn't get their first score of the game, though not a lot of follow-up. They have 4 clams in reserve. Hershey's gonna get them in, but that might be the end of their push.
Yeah, a great push nonetheless, going 3 players down now. It is just that end zap left there, and they might go down as well if they aren't careful. There it is. It's going to be the delayed wipe in favor of Puma's Cats. Liammochamocher are able to get a great push in. However, now the pity clam is in Puma's Cats' favor, so Ink can turn on a dime, but already actually Liammochamocher are able to pick up a ball of their own, and we know how fast games can change, and especially in clan-based topics. So really, all it takes is one team fight, and Liammochamocher are back in it.
I mean, we saw it earlier today in our last set, but so far Puma's cat is just being the aggressor right now. Puma's gonna go win, unfortunately gonna go down with the Resider. Next though, following up really well, getting a double kill, keeping Liammochamocher on their back foot. They have 13 seconds to get something going, because they don't need a lot to actually take the lead. They need the power, maybe 1, 2, or like 2 to 3 mini clams. There it is, there's the jump. It's gonna go down, they're gonna score, though they need 2 more clams to take the lead, but Puma's cat is gonna hold on. The blaster is gonna go in. The splash on to get to clear the space is gonna work. Hello's gonna score, but only the 1 clam. Another 1-point meme. Puma's cats holds on by the skin of their teeth, and Liammochamocher said it earlier today, if they just had 1 more second, that would have been it.
Yeah, a great advance nonetheless, but when you're in those situations as the defending team of Puma's Cats, you have to be so careful, because any microsecond or just lapse in judgment could spell disaster for you. But luckily enough for Puma's Cats, it was able to work into their favor. They were able to hold on up until the very last second, and we saw that just really based off of how we saw that Inkbrush play as well. I want to shout out Next on that Inkbrush. We saw them getting those multi-kills that really opened things up for Puma's Cats when we saw most of that match was pretty stagnant either way.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happens. Next on the Brush, you know, Brush as the rat weapon of the game is kind of, you want to play kind of sneaky, you want to go for those flanks, you want to just catch the enemy off guard, and Puma's Cats just use that to their advantage. But as we move on to game number 3, TC Inkblot, I think this map is slightly in Puma Cat's favor, because you do have the block, which they can really take advantage of. You do have that far left side, I'm sorry, that the Brush could use to kind of just run up the unmakeable, run up to bats, and just kind of camp out and just sit there. So I think Puma's Cats have a slight advantage here.
Yeah, it's also going to be interesting to see the interaction between the ballpoint Splatling and the pencil, who we've seen go back to back. Just really the battle of the backline, and really battle of the anchor of both teams, as they can really determine or make or break how these matches turn out. But enough of that. We are moving on to game number 3 here, as both teams have one game to their name, but that will change here, as now one team will take advantage. We see Ultra Solo switching over to the Junior, which I like a lot here. Seeing these weapons such as Roller or Junior being able to have that big bubble can create so much space, especially if you're running that custom blaster as well alongside it.
I mean, it's not just bubble, it's just Junior being a kind of a splat bomb merchant, because you guys kind of send out so much pressure with just the bombs, and so far a lot of fighting. One's gonna go down on Liammochamocher, and Puma's Cats, even though they're down only 1 point, that leads to taking in like a second. There it is, and with 2 specials at the ready for Puma's Cats, they might have a chance to do something here, though. Harshi on the pencil shuts down the Brush. They're gonna go down though to the ballpoint. It's just like the previous games, a lot of back and forth, a lot of fighting. Neither team has been able to get a lot of space and a lot of momentum going, but so far Puma's Cats looking to be the first team to strike here.
Yeah, both teams have basically been playing chicken with the tower, really just testing to see what the other team has in store for them. We see Feral Hog on this ballpoint, who we've seen really take advantage of their inkjet and really create so much space with it. But we're seeing now Puma's Cats go to 2 players down, and Liammochamocher will take the first checkpoint. And look at the amount of stuff they have on there. They have the bubble up, they have cooler as well. They are on a roll now.
I mean, yeah, this is where things get really dicey, because the second checkpoint is usually the hardest choke point to break on this map, because you're on that unlinkable, you add a severe high disadvantage, so it takes a lot of pressure, or a lot of specials are just a wipeout basically to get through. And Puma's Cats proving why. They stopped the tower almost instantly as soon as they got there. Next is gonna get a kill there on Henlo, going for the block flank on the pencil, gonna get Harshy there, leaving only the blaster for Liammochamocher. So Puma's Cats has a chance to really cause some damage.
Yeah, the splashdown though to counter and shut down next. Now Puma's Cats go 2 players down, and this could be an opportunity for Liammochamocher to take advantage of this and get past that dreaded second checkpoint like you mentioned, but not only because of the height disadvantage, but because of the amount of different angles Puma's Cats can really play from to really shut down Liammochamocher's push. But with Cooler up, this could really help them in the long run if they're able to play their cards right, as well as if a bubble is potentially formed by that junior. But we're seeing the power of the defense here with Barrel Hog on the jetpack as well. The pressure is just too much for Liammochamocher to really take advantage of that push. But now we reset back to mid as Puma's Cats are now in control of the tower.
I mean, they're in control of the tower. The Tetris gonna go win. Unfortunately, no, they do get a double kill, so that's a really, really good start. Puma with the Zipcaster next, with the whale trying to cause some more havoc. It's gonna work out. Puma's Cats are gonna inch even closer to that second checkpoint though. Solo with the junior is gonna try to use the bubble to advantage. Puma gonna go win, gonna go down. Unfortunately, that's gonna be 3 down for Puma's Cats. Maybe extended a little bit too far. They got punished for it. So now Liammochamocher with the opportunity to at least try to extend their lead, or even maybe break the checkpoint.
Yeah, they have a lead, but it's not a big one at all. But Keeley Ultra Solo right there just got bubble, and now with 3 players down for Puma Cats, this could be the opportunity they needed to get past this dreaded second checkpoint. There they go, 3 players down again. Puma Cats have to really rally to this because Liammochamocher are not letting them have any space at all. Bubble is still not used at all, so another element to this push still can continue rolling as they're going for that 3rd checkpoint. There's the bubble, there's the splashdown. They are on a roll.
I mean, they're on a roll. The snowball's just going. It's building. It's building. It's building. Next here, it's gonna be spotted out and try to just force something on tower. It's not gonna work. Harshy, nothing but green grass. Unfortunately, gonna go down to the hull point. And now Puma's Cats, they have to respond. Henlo's gonna go down. That's a wipeout full on Liammochamocher, but the damage has been done. Now it's time for Puma's Cats to kind of rebuild what Liammochamocher destroyed, and now with 30 seconds left, that's a good start with 2 down. Now here we go. They're gonna have to get a large push going.
Yeah, they need to have a similar push to how Liammochamocher went in, but they do go 2 players down, so a little bit of momentum changer next. And that ballpoint splatling with the jetpack really being the only players left in the area. 10 seconds left. Next pop the killer whale to just create more space, being that distraction, trying to distract Harshy on that pencil to look this way, but the members of Puma Cats are falling behind them, and that will just about do it there. Liammochamocher will take this 2-1, and now they're looking for the 3-1 set win here.
I mean, that game came down to that last push. Liammochamocher, the damn wall fell, and the floodgates open. And yes, they did play really, really well. Puma's Cats did try to mount some sort of defense, but just wasn't enough. I believe they got to 6. It's either 6 or 7 that Liammochamocher got to, and at that point, it's just with how little time there was, it just became a really Sisyphean task to try to go through, because you're gonna have to roll that boulder up the hill, but unfortunately, it just fell right back down.
Yeah, and really, kind of what you said, Topic, they were holding on really, really well for a long time, but all it took was one opening, one crack in Puma Cat's defense, and that's all they needed. That's all they needed to continue on the roll, and things can look similar here if they're not careful in Rainmaker, Undertow Spillway, which seems the most volatile mode, especially on a map such as Undertow Spillway, because things can change so fast, and not only that, the match can end so fast.
I mean, that's why we love Rainmaker. You never know what's gonna happen. You might win in 20 seconds. You might win in like 6 minutes. It's just that variability makes it so much fun, especially on Undertow, with how I don't want to say with how viable both routes are for the most part, because you have your standard left route that's like very long, it's a much safer route. Then you got the right route, which if protected, because snipe is actually not that far away, so you can kind of use your long range weapon to kind of protect them. It could be a very good option if you just want some quick points. So I can see this match going either way.
Yeah, 100%, but if you're Puma's Cats, you need it to go your way if you want to stay in this. Liammochamocher just needs to win this last game, and in terms of Puma Cats, you need to force it to Game 5 over to Splatzone's Robo Ramen, which I think their comp will do better in, but they can't think about that now. They have to take things one step at a time as they stick with a similar comp. On the other side, though, we see the sploosh. There it is from Enraged Jeff. We see the sploosh being used, and that is another deadly thing that you have to watch out for, because they are known for getting those multi-kills there.
You know, sploosh, it's the Rainmaker rat weapon. You run forward, you hold ZR, and you win games. And so far, Liammochamocher is gonna pop the Rainmaker and just kind of rush forward. Jeff here is gonna just cause a distraction, and Liammochamocher with a really quick opening push, getting it through the first checkpoint in the first 30 seconds, showing no signs of stopping. Though thankfully, if you're Puma's Cats, the Rainmaker's gonna go down, but so far Liammochamocher showing no signs of slowing down. Solo with the bubble to try to protect the Rainmaker. The Zipcaster though is gonna go down, unfortunately. So Liammochamocher, they're hitting with everything they got.
They are firing on all cylinders for sure, and they're now trying to get through this left lane here, being slowed down slightly by that Killer Whale and by Nex, who will jump onto the Rainmaker and find Archie. Will try to find Ultra Solo as well, but will run out of ink, I think. And now Ultra Solo will provide jumps for the other members of Liammochamocher, while the rest of Puma Cats really just have to rally to this. But no! Managing to pick off the Rainmaker from behind as well. That was huge from Puma Cats. Now the momentum is changing in their favor.
I mean, yeah, it's so far it is, but it's in a really bad spot if you're Puma Cats, because Liammochamocher still has most of mid-painted. Unfortunate kill there with on Solo. But yeah, Puma Cats are trying to paint in. Liammochamocher though not letting up, as the Rainmaker is going to be possible. It looks like is going to be reset soon. But the flank, hold on, a flank from Jeff is gonna be able to get the ballpoint, and now Liammochamocher has someone set up in a really good spot. Now the question is, can they deal with Nex? Can they deal with the rest of Puma Cats to get the Rainmaker into that spot?
Yeah, Nex is holding firm for Puma Cats and being such an annoyance if you're on the side of Liammochamocher. They will eventually go down, so now Archie and the rest of Liammochamocher can really advance here. 2 players are down for Puma Cats, but the jetpack is popped here and could potentially take down Archie, but Archie is continuing to dance. They will eventually fall there, and now Puma Cats really need to find an opening for them to really regain so much of the map control that they did lose, as they have been unable to get past mid there or really get any points on the board, but still plenty of time to do it. Still about half the match to be played. Let's see what they do.
I mean, yeah, they can't afford to panic at all. They still have, like you said, they have a lot of time to work with. The question is, will they be able to curb Liammochamocher's offense? And so far, they're doing a pretty good job. Unfortunately, they're going to go down. Puma saw the light for a second. They're just barely surviving the bomb. Solo just doing what juniors do, just kind of chuck bombs at the Rainmaker and say deal with it. Harshy's gonna get the kill though. Next is gonna go down, and so far Liammochamocher not looking to let Puma Cats even on the board, as they're gonna go for even more points.
Yeah, they're not leaving anything up to chance. They want the knockout here. They want to move on to finals. And with the bubble pop as well, they have the tools to do it. There are 2 players down, and Ultra Jeff is going straight for the and just like that, ending this set 3-1. What a valiant push there from Liammochamocher, and what a wonderful display of movement there from Jeff as well, managing to dodge and weave and make it there.
I mean, he's doing what splooshes do. What can I say? You dodge, duck, dip, dive all over the place, get the Rainmaker from, like, I believe 40 to the knockout in really, really good. And Liammochamocher, that last game, aggressive. That's it. That's all I gotta say. They were in Puma Cat's face the entire time, and Puma Cats had very little chance or space to respond. And unfortunately, Liammochamocher just kind of ran him over at the end.
Yeah, they will get an opportunity at least some redemption here. They will go into a third place match to take on Pretricore, but a familiar opponent, at least to the stream, will face Liammochamocher, which is Enriku Soul, who won in a sweep over Preacher, which is pretty impressive indeed, as I believe that means they still only dropped one map in this entire tournament so far, and Riku's Soul still remains with them, but it will be tested one last time in the finals of Swimmer Sync 165, but we will get to that very momentarily as we will be taking a very short break, but don't go anywhere as Grand Finals awaits us.
Stay put. Hope you got your popcorn. Hope you got your drink of choice because we are back. We have SOS 165 Grand Finals. We have Liammochamocher versus on Riku Soul. We're getting first. And if you're Riku, you better hope you're betting it all on black. Because if not, well, we don't talk about that. But anyways, I am Topic, joined by Rocket, of course. And I'm excited.
Yeah, we've seen on stream how both these teams played here on Riku Soul, getting that victory over Destiny, and on the other side, we just saw Liammochamocher put up a pretty dominant Rainmaker map to close things out against Puma Cats. So that means we are in for a show for sure here. Both these teams have fought through thick and thin. Both teams have been pretty dominant, both of them only dropping one map in this entire tournament so far, but that will change here as we meet. I'm very interested to see these weapon interactions, Topic.
I mean, we're gonna see how that goes as we're gonna go into game number 1, ship-shaped cargo or zones ship-shaped cargo, I should say. And whenever I see this map, maybe it's just my brain, I think of the funny reef slider, because you just kind of take zone, and then of course you might die for it, but at least it's funny.
Well, maybe funny for you, but obviously not the other team, as they're just like, dang it, we just lost the entirety of point, and now possibly a penalty added with the blink of the eye. But yeah, we could be in for some reefs cheese, but normally when you see this map, you don't associate it with zones at all. You see it on tower control, but nice change of pace there. But as some of you keen viewers might be looking at right now, we see Mincemeat Metalworks as our game number 2 on Rainmaker, which I've seen played in a couple of other tournaments, but now we are here with it in SOS. Any little thoughts on that Topic?
Okay, I might be crazy, but I'm like 95% sure Mincemeat also got changed. I know they had the pole, the almighty pole with the car on it, but I'm pretty sure they had another change. Am I right? Or am I wrong? I might be misremembering.
I believe there's another change. I just can't remember it right now. But yes, I do remember there was a change somewhere. But oh my god, we are so washed in terms of remembering Splatoon stuff. We are very rusty, I should say, actually, in terms of map changes, because this is something we haven't seen in a while, but definitely a very welcome change indeed. We're taking a look at the other maps: Game 3, Tower Control, Hacklefish Market; Game 4, if necessary, Clan Blitz Museum; and Game number 5, Splat Zones Mahi Mahi, which I think would be a very, very chaotic and very, very fun map to end the set on if it does go all 5 games. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I always hope for it. Obviously, that means more work for us, but honestly, I'm very, very hoping for a full 5-game set here, because both these teams have played so well so far, Topic.
I mean, you don't only lose one game by chance, right? Like, these teams, they know what they want to do. They have their game plan set. They have their notes ready. They're warmed up. They got their Gatorade or water or whatever. They got their drinks. So you know they have their full attention here. And like you said, I think Game 5, if it comes down to that, could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, because you have, obviously, the quirk of the map being able to expand around the 60-70 point mark, but yeah, definitely a chaotic map, kind of along the similar lines of what you have with Humpback Pump Track, but that is only up for speculation as game number 1, Splat Zone Ship-Shaped Cargo. I think the interesting thing here is, obviously, most maps have only one zone to capture here, but you have 2, which can definitely add a little bit of a quirk to this, especially if you have limited players to really contest each zone with. You really just have to play with your own, and then if you have the advantage, get over onto the other side. But definitely always interesting to see, especially since the zones are in more of a linear pattern as compared to like more diagonally across from each other or side by side.
Talk about ship shape?
Yeah, ship shape.
It's one zone.
Oh shit, I am very rusty. Fuck. Okay, I don't know why. I just remember like there's like a pylon in the middle of the split. Okay, ignoring that dementiated rant, but still though, I still think that it is just played differently when you have one zone compared to 2 zones. But if it is one zone, then Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see like the both differentiating like elevated positions they have like looming over the giant zone. So maybe like you see a slosher, I know that would probably make you happy, Topping, just like raining down from above.
Yeah, I mean, because the zone is right under the bridge, so actually, I don't know if Slosher is good at that spot specifically. I know further up, especially on that right side, in court, you can slosh up. I know that's pretty good, especially like underneath the enemy. It's not the underneath the enemy plat is pretty good. So, I think Slosher is still strong, especially the V Slosher with the strikes. It's just really good, but enough speculation. Here we go. Riku Soul's on the line here as we're gonna see Zenith with a not 79 or 49 with the storm, and what we saw from Liammochamocher last set, except instead of the sploosh, they go with the wiper.
Yeah, that signature explosion as well from Enrico's Soul to open things up. On the other side, very interesting comp because that's something you would normally see out of, you know, like a tower control or clan blitz map, a very close quarters fighty type comp, but we're seeing it here on zones. Let's see if it works out for them. Already though, it seems like it's working out for them really well as Liammochamocher are able to get first cap onto the zone, barely being able to escape out is that explosion. Enmo are just seeking for blood, managing to find one in that chaos, and 3 players down for Enrico's Soul. Liammochamocher are on a roll already.
I mean, yeah, not the start you want for Riku's Soul, as this is kind of the dangers with this map. You can get locked out super easily because you're kind of, the main way to go in is really confined to that one little hallway that you see right there. As now Liammochamocher, they're just chilling. They don't have to engage too hard because now it takes a lot for Riku's Soul to get in. They pop a splash on a mile away from the zone, so that's not going to be effective when they need it. They do have the strikes at the ready, though. They're going to go one down on both sides. And now, there's only 20 ticks left for Liammochamocher. Riku's Soul got to be a little bit desperate here. Proto going in, Zenith with the rain, but it's not going to work as Liammochamocher is going to get them wiped out. And domination as game 1, Liammochamocher just took zone, never looked back, and Riku's Soul, that might be a wake-up call.
Wake-up call indeed. I was about to say that too, Topping. A little bit of a slap in the face if you were Enrico's Soul there. A very dominant game from Liammochamocher from start to end, but you just gotta shake it off. It's okay. It's one game. Yes, for sure, it does hurt, but you can't give any headway now. As I liked Enrico's Soul's comp there in terms of being able to balance out that explosion with the knot as well, the painting ability. Keely having that rain knot instead of the typical splashdown knot, but definitely some changes are going to be made, especially since we are moving on to Rainmaker Mincemeat Wheat Metalworks, which if we saw how fighty Liammochamocher's comp was on Splat Zones, I think it could provide for a similar snowbally effect on Rainmaker, because I think actually that comp would really benefit from the mode being Rainmaker.
Okay. I am calling that Liammochamocher will have a sploosh. Because in general, this is Sploosh's best mode, and on Mincemeat, on Mincemeat specifically, that right side is like super wide open. So maybe we might see Liammochamocher try to go for a really quick pop and try to divert to that right side, or what I think realistically will happen is you will see like Riku's Soul. I don't think they might. I don't know if they stay with the Explo. They might stay with the Explo. It's pretty good. Not on the greats, but just in general. So I could see Riku's Soul trying to contest, especially the truck, or contest Liammochamocher's truck, try to get them off. But I could see the opening being very like scrambled, very chaotic, because even though the Rainmaker pop doesn't do a whole lot on this map, it's just like you can get so much more space once the Rainmaker does actually pop.
Now, there is the opportunity as well for potentially double stamp if we do see that Wiper being played alongside Enraged Jeff's Sploosh, so definitely could cause a little bit of chaos there if there's if the cards fall right, but yeah, like you were mentioning about the Expo, I think it can provide really that long-range poking ability that we really saw limited there just because of how fast Liammochamocher were able to go in. But obviously, they have their counter of their own to that Explosher. If we saw that Junior on that map there was able to really create so much space for Liammochamocher to operate to basically kind of negate how that Explosher was really finding value. So definitely going to be an interesting interaction indeed, especially since how Bubble is such a powerful special on these type of modes where you want to control a specific side of the map, and Rainmaker is one of those modes.
I mean, I could realistically see Riku Soul switching over to the V-Explosion, the V-Explo with the rain, because the rain down that little corridor on the right side, you know what I'm talking about, right past the checkpoint, it could be like really strong there to kind of clear them out. You can even use it to get on enemy plat, because you can kind of just like say, hey, you cannot be here, get out of my way, and it works really, really well. So if they do go with the Rain Expo, which they might go, but I don't know if Zenith. I think Zenith might switch over. If that happens, Zenith might switch over to the Splash now, not, or maybe something a little more aggressive because to kind of match the Liammochamocher. But there's a lot of variables that can change.
Yeah, and change they might, because we are having a long discussion between both teams in terms of weapon choices, because maybe we are seeing a potential comp switch from Riku Soul to really bring this back because of how dominantly they were basically rolled through that first game. So maybe we could see a difference of strategies, maybe a little bit of a Hail Mary strategy here, but if there's any time to do it, it would be now in a final set here. But let's see if they do it here. Game number 2 on Mincemeat Metalworks Rainmaker. Let's see if there's any changes from either side here. We do see a double bucket here coming out for on Riku Soul, and on the other side here, we seeing a splatter scope, I believe.
Yes, that is the one with ink facts, a little bit of vac cheese maybe in the cards, and you know, I was wrong. They decided to stick with the wiper, maybe for that bit of, you know, just hammer, just torpedo in general, as Henlo's gonna get a quick trade there. That's gonna be 2 down for Riku Soul, but like I said earlier, a lot of fighting. Solo with another kill, as Solo actually switched over to the Zap for a bit more of fighting instead of just sitting there and painting. But so far, just a lot of fights, a lot of kills are going back and forth, and so far, Riku Soul does have most of mid painted, and they're going to get the first score of the game.
Yeah, but they have to be careful about that splatter scope, maybe potentially taking out. They will pop the back as well to really halt on Riku Soul's push here, managing to find one with the follow-up from it as well, and 2 players are down on Riku Soul, so that push does lose some steam a little bit. The Rainmaker there on the left side of your screen has 30 seconds left, but not a lot of room to work with at all if you're on Riku Soul, especially if you have this splatter scope staring down your neck.
I mean, it's kind of hard for Riku Soul. They're managing to break the checkpoint though. They found the silver lining in that situation, breaking through the checkpoint, and now Liammochamocher not quite on their back foot, but they're just going forward. They're going forward with no regards for their own safety. Henlo with a very quick response here. Proto with the flanks not quite gonna work. Sarah on the bucket trying to cause some mayhem, it's not gonna work. The hammer is gonna give them a little bit more space to work with. Henlo's gonna get one nightmare. Seeing the light there for a second with the hammer, is gonna barely dodge it. And the Liammochamocher with, I think in like 15-20 seconds, takes the checkpoint and the lead just like that.
Yeah, great shot there from the splatter scope, but we saw how well Liammochamocher have been able to use these specials. We saw the vac on that initial checkpoint pop basically eat up so much of Riku Soul's defense there. We saw a bomb being eaten up, all the inks trying to defend that push, and a quick follow-up through as well with the stamp, and that might be the bread and butter to how Liammochamocher is wanting to play this game, as 3 members are down for Riku Soul here. They are continuing to try to extend this lead. They're going straight for the knockout. They are taking the pace and the fight to Riku Soul here very, very quickly, but they will get halted there by a great defense from Sarah and the rest of Riku Soul.
Liammochamocher got it a little bit further. They went from 39 to 32. We do see the blaster for Liammochamocher trying to do a little bit of cheese. Not gonna work. Henlo with the jumping in is gonna go down 2, so that's 2 down for Liammochamocher. And so far, Riku Soul's looking pretty strong, looking to get something going. The Zuka, the strikes, they have the left side pain. They go for the jump. They're gonna get it and take the lead back from Liammochamocher. Riku Soul are not going down without a fight.
The legendary jump of Mincemeat Metalworks changes the lead just like that, and now Liammochamocher has the pressure on them with a minute 35 left. They have 3 specials available to retake mid, though. This blaster will find one in the wake of it, trying to go straight for Nightmare with this explosion, but the explosion will come out of that fight victorious. But the members of Liammochamocher are taking this right route, trying to do the same thing that Riku Soul did, and with 3 players down, it is just left to the explosion, but Nightmare gets the pick onto the Rainmaker. That is huge, just to give their team some more time here and allow them to defend this jump, but the jump might already make its way there, and just like that, it will.
Yup, there it is. The Charger is gonna get a little bit closer. That's another lead change. That's like, what, the 3rd or 4th lead change in the game. Liammochamocher trying to get closer. It's not gonna work. And Riku Soul, less than a minute to go. They have been fighting this entire game, and now they have at most 2 more chances to try to get something going. But Liammochamocher is gonna do everything in their power to make sure that does not happen.
Yeah, being able to reset the Rainmaker back to mid now, we need to get this space from mid and be able to push with it, because Liammochamocher are not going to give up any space at all. They have coolers on their back. Sarah does go down, but a quick trade from the members of Riku Soul to even things up now. Nearing overtime here with 15 seconds left. Still heavily contested mid, but Liammochamocher will have the numbers advantage as actually another player goes down, and members of Riku Soul are falling left, right, and center. 5 seconds left. The time is running low for Riku Soul to jump onto it. They will find the Rainmaker, but they won't be able to hold on to it, as now up 2-0. We are looking at a potential sweep here, Topic.
Someone find Riku. So please, someone find Riku. They have to be sweating right now, because their souls on the line. But yeah, if you're Liammochamocher, you're looking good. You kind of just not really came back. You held on through thick and thin in that game, even though Riku Soul did take the lead for a little bit. They just said, hey, you did the jump, we're gonna do it but better, and they did just that. So very, very good win, very back and forth game, but let's see if that can continue with Riku Soul bet on black here as we go to game number 3, the potential final game of SOS this week. TC Hagglefish.
Yes, a little bit more of another uncommon one. Not as uncommon, obviously, as seeing Mincemeat Metalworks or Splat Zones on Chip Shape, but definitely not what you think of when you think of first. Obviously, I think of the default, Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market, but TC is also another popular choice on this, and unfortunately for, I think, Riku Soul, I think Liammochamocher has a really good comp to really work with here. You have the bubble that we've seen, and potentially we could actually see the VAC as well used again here, because it's another viable option that we've seen them really play around and use to its effectiveness, really being able to create so much space, basically being able to deny so much of retake that maybe Riku Soul could have. But if you're on Riku Soul, you might want to consider changing weapons here if things don't look as promising here, because they're looking down the barrel of a sweep.
I mean, listen, what's the quote? Pressure can make diamonds, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're Riku Soul, if you're Riku Soul, you have one last chance. You're on your back foot. This is your last opportunity to even attempt a 3-0 comeback. Now, what their game plan has to be, maybe, like you said, a couple weapon changes, maybe tighten up their execution here and there, because we can't deny during that second game, that was very, very winnable. We saw the improvements and adaptation from game 1 to 2. They went from 100-0 to barely not winning, but enough speculation. Here we go. Game number 3. Potential final set. We are going to see the Kraken E-Leader out for Riku Soul. And is that... No. Yeah, is that the Chumps? That is the Chumps.
We're having
Zap.
2 end zaps. We are seeing 2 end zaps here. Hello. We are seeing double end zap. The Chumps here being popped early. And less like that already. Liammochamocher time is trying to potentially go for this quick win here, but that zap will get quickly taken out as members of Enrico Soul are trying to go in, and they will manage to find 3 off of that and find the 4th as well. Interesting change for Enrico Soul being able to switch to that edit, but also another backline change. And on the other side, going with the E-Leader for that pressure, but Enrico Soul are playing like their lives are in danger, but really, it kind of is, not only in the tournament sense, but for Riku as well.
I mean, it's Riku life. Riku Soul's on the line here, and so far, Riku Soul is doing really well. They managed to get through the first checkpoint onto the second checkpoint, though. The second checkpoint, just like Inkling, is a very, very contentious one. It's very, very hard to break, but so far, they've been looking dominant. They have been... It's just like game 1 in reverse, basically. Riku Soul has been keeping Liammochamocher back so far this entire game. Anytime they've touched tower, they've been dealt with almost immediately. Even though Liammochamocher does have the E-Leader, they haven't been allowed to just kind of sit there for a long time. They've been moved, they've been harassed, they've just been forced to get out, basically.
Yeah, and that continues here with Sarah contesting and managing to find the trade onto that E-Leader, but off of that quick trade and off of Liammochamocher really being able to stabilize, they will be able to get back to mid here, at least, and regain some lost ground with the Super Chump, with the Splash on as well, managing to try to find that other blaster, but no, Zenith will remain alive only temporarily, but now, off of that quick blaster trade, Liammochamocher now push towards their own first checkpoint.
I mean, yeah, here we go. Can Riku Soul play some solid defense like this? That's what they're gonna do. They have the Expo in a really good spot here. It's very hard to contest. Henlo with the jumps are gonna be popped solo on the tower as well. Though that's 2 down, 3 down, unfortunately, for Riku Soul. Liammochamocher looking a very clear way path towards the first checkpoint. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be lead. Now, Riku Soul is gonna be able to at least get them off of it temporarily, with Sarah and Proto just being basically guardians of the tower so far. They have basically tried to do everything they can to not let Liammochamocher break through it, and so far it's been working, but Liammochamocher is looking like they're just gonna break through it and just keep the scoring going.
Yeah, the lead seems so great for Enrico Soul, but just like that, Liammochamocher proved to us why they are the #1 seed, why they are up 2-0 so far, but if you're Enrico Soul, it is do or die time now. You have 2 minutes left. Still plenty of time to really work with here, especially if Coolers pops just like that. A quick 1-for-1 trade with the blasters will allow the members of Enrico Soul to now push for their own attack here. This could really prove to be vital here, especially with 2 players down for Liammochamocher. This is the opportunity they need, especially with that Expo special up and running.
I mean, they're not that far away from lead. Was it 7 points away? But the question becomes, can they get points onto tower? Because so far they have been able to. The E-Leader, Ultra Solo, Henlo just have been surrounding the tower, not allowing to get anything going. And there we go, 2 down on both sides. Liammochamocher's defense has impressed so far. Proto's gonna get a trade with the blaster, but so far Liammochamocher has been holding on for dear life. Sarah on tower getting the jump in. They have less than a minute to go. Nice kill there. That's a good start. Gonna go down. Unfortunately, 3 down for Riku Soul. And if you're Liammochamocher, you don't really have to play that aggressive. Yes, you do want to put some pressure, but you don't need to put yourself in danger that you don't need to.
Yeah, and Keeley, I just noticed, if you have that Kraken for Liammochamocher, you have to be careful with it, because that can basically just end the game just like that. But they can't worry about that now, as now they need to get a good push in, because this checkpoint has been proven to be really tough for both teams to really push through, but Enrico Soul needs to get through it now as members of both teams fall there. Now Nightmare dropping that splashdown won't quite find the value. 15 seconds left. Things can change really quickly here if Riku's Soul isn't careful.
I mean, Liammochamocher, they do have the Kraken after already, so if Riku's Soul gets a bit too close, they can pop it. No, Nightmare's gonna go down. Proto on tower is gonna go down to the Kraken, and that will be it. Liammochamocher in grand finals will take a 3-0 win in a very, very close game number 3. And I think Riku has to pay the price now. So if Riku was watching this, I'm sorry.
You will be dragged to the Shadow Realm now, as Liammochamocher not only helps in taking away Riku's soul, will also take Swimmer Sync 165. Congratulations. They were dominant from beginning to end of this tournament topic, only dropping one in semis against Puma's Cats, who we saw, but despite that, winning everything else nonetheless and not looking back at all. Congratulations, and quite a dominating performance.
I mean, listen, Goliath is Goliath for a reason. They're the #1 seed for a reason. So yes, they did have a couple slip-ups. They almost lost game number 2. They really battled with Puma's Cats in the semifinals, and they've persevered. So shout out to them. It's a great job.
Yeah, GG's to both teams involved. GG's to everyone who played in the tournament. Let me double check to see if our third place match has concluded. No, it is not. However, Puma's Cats, I believe, are up 2-1. So definitely something to keep your eye on if you want a little bit of extra, a little bit of intrigue to see what is going on over there. But enough of that. Where can these people find you, Topic?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter, Topical2. You could see where I'm commentating next, or hear the ramblings of a madman. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you, Rocket?
Yeah, you can find me at Rocket_Splat. You can find me on Discord at Rockety. I'm usually hanging around. Just pop in if you see me, say hi. But yeah, that is really all we have to say. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for Ryan in the background for being such a wonderful streamer. Thank you to all of the staff with us here helping us out during this tournament. Thank you to all of you viewers for watching, and we will see you next week for the next Swimmer Sync.
Yes, and don't forget, always disturb the peace.